All right, video game list. Y'all already know what it is. We're real YouTubers out here recycling content. Like I said, I wanted to do mine before everybody else's because I have a pretty neat idea that I think everybody should copy, unless y'all have some some
Eyes
improvements to that.
emoji, pencil, notebook.
Also, he
So
called
let's
dibs.
take an example game, for example, like Final Fantasy VII remake, right? So if this was on the list, which it is not,
Nice.
um,
It's not on the
Died.
list.
Oh, that's a big sad.
no, yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
He died more than 10
yeah,
times to
this,
Sephiroth.
yeah,
that's fine.
yeah, this list has a lot of hot takes. I'm sorry, just warning you in advance.
Nah, it's good. It's your list, Mo.
So,
It doesn't
so Final
mean
Fantasy VII
I will
remake,
attack you, but okay.
yeah, yeah, you're gonna attack me.
I
Um,
will.
so if
Believe me,
I
I
have a
will.
game on the list, the number placement is my personal opinion on the game and how much the game means to me and how much I like the game. However, for every game, I am going to give a score on the side, and the score on the side is going to be my attempt to objectively rate the game. So that's like it's I'm gonna try and make it independent of my opinion, but
Oh,
I'm
okay.
human. I'm
I
gonna
like
make some
that.
errors. So like the number is the personal placement, and then the number on the right is the objective rating. So
Okay,
that's how this is gonna go, right?
nice.
So is that
So
like an actual
I'm
objective
gonna
rating for the game, or is that like just
no, I just threw that number out. Final Fantasy VII remake, I'd probably give it like a yeah, probably like a 93, 94. It was a really fucking good game, actually.
Were
Just
the missing 6 for each of those bosses that really gave you.
no. We
Um,
would be. I could do an entire video
Okay,
on Final
let's
Fantasy
just.
VII.
so how many are on
I
the list?
how many are on the list? 43.
43. Okay.
This is going to be very top heavy. I'm going to run through everything that's not in the A plus or S tier real quickly because they're kind of simple and yeah.
Okay.
All right, 42. 42 is a dumb arena fighter. It's kind of an old game.
Okay. Budokai.
oh damn 55?
Oh, Tenkaichi. I know that
Yeah,
one's.
Budokai Tenkaichi 3
I mean, this is probably gonna take a while to. Oh no,
is
I'll just.
a battling game.
It's a big punchy kicky game. It has over 150 unique characters. It was
Holy
ridiculous. It
crap!
was pretty fun.
Seriously?
I like. Yeah, but a lot of them play kind of the same,
Oh
obviously.
yeah.
But yeah, it has a shit ton of characters.
So
It's
that means they're
ridiculous.
not unique.
Is it like
No, no.
is it
Well,
like
like
each transformation is a unique character or something?
yeah, each transformation has its own unique moveset.
Mm,
A lot of them are similar, but like none of them are exactly the same.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Next one is another dumb arena fighter.
Oh,
Oh,
Not
I
really.
played this game. This was fun.
Not. It's less dumb. Pretty cool because character customization, also like changing history and stuff.
You know, Xenoverse 2 still has a scene and it still gets content.
yeah, that's
Still,
crazy.
does it still get content?
Yeah.
It has like some.
If it's stopped, it does. Yeah.
Someone
I don't know if it's.
someone uploaded a Salt video based on Xenoverse 2,
Oh yeah.
which is kind of
Metal
nuts if you
Cooler.
think about it.
Yeah. Xenoverse is cool. Number 40 is a Mario game.
Mario.
Mario 3.
Oh, wow, okay.
I love this game.
Yeah,
Mario
I like it.
3 is Mario 3 is the first Mario game I ever played.
Really?
Still love the physics. One of my favorite physics in any 2D Mario game. Super
Alright.
fun.
Super Mario.
My first and favorite's probably Super Mario World.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. Super Mario World's amazing.
Oh, that's a
The
tough
only thing
one.
like the only thing wrong with Super Mario World is that the cape is absolutely broken, and that's why they never use it again.
Yeah, they're like,
They
there's no
wrote it out
reason
of
not
the-
to use it.
Insane, bro. Yeah, like in Mario games, it's hard to make a bad Mario game.
I
For-
like
Wait,
Nintendo.
You're
I like
thinking
Super Mario
Super Mario
64.
Bros. 3 is from the cartoon.
By the way,
I know that, Bowser.
Nice.
Very
Mario
good. World. My favorite, my favorite mechanics in any 2D Mario game.
Okay.
Sure.
I love the tight controls. I love the
Yeah.
I love the jump squad. I love the jump physics. I love the power ups. The level design is sick. Yoshi's sick.
Bro,
Yoshi gets
you
thrown
can
to his
you can
death.
fast fall your cape mid-air.
Dude, like it's
Like
so
that game
good.
has a lot of hidden tech. It's weird, but also cool.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of secrets that you can unlock, which is really
Mario
fun.
World speedruns are so fun to watch. Holy crap, bro.
Super Mario 64 speedruns are really fun to watch too.
Shout
Yeah.
out to Simple Flips.
Shout out to Simple
Yeah.
Flip.
64, I'd probably give 64 like an 85, but it wasn't on my list because I didn't play it.
Ah, rip.
I mean,
Uh,
to be fair, like 64. I mean, it's very. I think it's a legendary game, obviously, but like
Yeah.
It
it doesn't
aged
hold up all that
kind of
well.
poorly.
yeah,
Especially
like
the
all the subsequent 3D Mario games are just better, straight
Yeah.
up.
But it's because like they all used 64 as a basis.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Galaxy.
I mean, yeah, even
Huh?
Galaxy did.
Yeah, Sunshine did.
All right, let's keep going.
Going
Dude, what? Why is this on here? Why is it 38 point? Oh my god.
358. Day is over 2.
yeah,
This game was still fun.
I like. I mean, the
it's
plot's cool.
the game is
Oh, you put
okay.
38.52. That's funny.
Yeah, that's why I did that.
Thanks,
The
Nomura.
game is okay. Kingdom Hearts is my favorite video game series ever. This has the best character writing in the entire series. That's the main reason why it's here.
Roxas.
Yeah, Roxas is amazing. Axel's pretty cool. Shion's pretty dope.
Who?
Tragic.
Damn it.
He said,
Actually, we can't say
Come
that
on.
anymore because she exists.
"Ah, she
She's
exists. She
She
exists."
exists now.
You can't say that anymore.
Yeah. The next two I'm gonna
Not
introduce.
if I've never played 3.
Oh, okay. The next two I'm gonna introduce at the same time. You can kind of see why.
Oh yeah, they're pretty much.
Wait, why is 37 and 38?
Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
37, 30,
Oh
36.
shit.
Count it backwards.
Uh-oh. It's because I did it at the same time. I gotta swap it around.
36.
I don't know. There we
Wait, it's
go.
actually like 38 point. Oh my god.
Why are they both 38?
Wait, what the fuck am I doing?
It's 37, 36.
Wait. No, cause no, oh, this is backwards. First of all, it's supposed to be like this, because Kingdom
No,
Hearts.
on the
Kingdom Hearts,
left.
no, I did that on purpose. The Kingdom Hearts
Kingdom
35
Hearts
is
is dumb.
actually like a 30, it's actually like a 38.5. It's not actually 38.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just being silly. Yeah, these games are
Hashtag
basically the
W.
same. These games are basically the same. I
Yeah.
gotta change that rating real quick too. U is obviously a little bit better because it's basically just a straight up improvement.
Yeah.
Level design is what puts this game over like the old 2D Mario games for me personally. But yeah, Mario, hard to go wrong with Mario. Next
Okay.
one's a dumb. Next one's another dumb anime fighter.
Ooh.
This one, honestly, like,
Nart.
Yo, I better see Ultimate Ninja Storm 3 for the Wii on here because that shit had fucking sorcery with his fucking dumb puppet hitbox.
I'm not putting that game on
Oh
the list.
my
Holy
God.
shit.
Oh, that
Anyway,
game triggered me.
Low key, this is kind of just like representative of the entire Storm series because like this, I have a lot of nostalgia for this game. It's
Fair
probably my favorite anime game. Actually, had a competitive scene for a while. It has
Really?
Tekken shit. It's
Really?
decent.
Oh, that's cool to know.
Decent. It's easily the best anime fighter. Well, not fighter, but like arena fighter ever made.
Dragon Ball
Kind of
Fighters
unanimous.
in the distance.
Yeah, Dragon Ball
Was that
Fighters
for
just
an
kind
arena
of
fighter?
Dragon Ball Fighters came in and just kind of clapped everybody. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
35.
Arc system works.
I'm gonna introduce the next two at the same time as well.
Nice, we're really plowing through this one. That's good.
For
Well,
now.
we're gonna slow down when we get to the real good games. Don't
Of
worry.
course.
So these two, yeah, 3D World, 3D Land, 3D. What the fuck? I fucked up.
3D World was better, but 3D Land was good for what it was.
3D Land, I only put it this high because I have really fond memories of this game because I played through the entire game when I was visiting my aunt one summer and like I was just like sleeping over and I would like stay up super late playing this game like multiple nights in a row and I don't know. I like those
Nostalgia.
memories a lot. Yeah. It was a really simple game. The level design was kind of bad. The enemy placement
Yeah.
was kind of bad. The game was really freaking easy.
Yeah.
But 3D World is a straight upgrade.
Cat
I mean,
Mario
look how much,
is
yeah,
broken.
look how much higher the actual objective score is, right? It's just so much better in every single way.
Super Bell Hill is one of the best songs they put out in recent years.
Dude, what about
Hell yeah.
Bowser though, dude?
Bowser is amazing too. Okay, 33 is probably the first hot take. I think everybody but me has this way higher.
Oh!
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'd probably put it there too.
Wait, what? What
I like
He
the
happened?
game,
likes
but
it's because he likes all the other platinum games better.
it's because
Yeah.
Armstrong's ruined it for him.
He never finished it. That's why.
Yeah.
Nano
Well, this game
mushrooms.
is
He
awesome.
can't do a Zandatsu to save his life.
Oh my god. Yeah, this game is super fucking good. Don't get me wrong. Like this game is still. I think every one of these games are really good.
I've actually
But
done like well, I think it's up to very hard. I've done no hit runs of this game,
Oh
but
shit.
it's like it involved
what
a
the
lot
fuck?
of
Oh my.
it involved a lot
my
of
God, we-
restarting. But I've like beaten
We're in
every
the presence
boss.
of
I
a
think.
bad. That's not no damage. Yo, upload that shit.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
yeah.
like
It's
it wasn't
actually Cloud. What the fuck?
it wasn't in one run, but like I had to save and restart multiple times.
Well, yeah, of course.
But it's only
No
it's
one-
only
no
been
one
up to
does
like
that
very
anymore.
hard, I think, because like there's still revengeance mode, and I never got to finish it because I don't have my Xbox anymore.
That's actually insane.
I think,
Game, but I think there are better
Monsoon
games.
was the hardest. Or maybe
Hell
it was
yeah,
the-
brother! Hell yeah,
Bro, I was hearing that
brother!
song a lot.
Yeah, that boss fight is nuts.
I love that boss fight so much, dude.
I wonder why. 32 is a worse game, but I have more of a personal connection into this game because I spent so much freaking time on
I think
it.
Yeah.
the first two.
Hey, he put it at 69.
69.
Nice. Nice.
Nice.
It's another
Basically
arena
just a
fighter.
the dumb arena fighter with RPG elements, also a character creator, and a kind of a cool plot, kind of sorta, some cool moments. Online is terrible. The balancing is terrible. The side quests are annoying as hell, but the game is still pretty fun. I spend way too much time on it, so yeah, it's here. All right. This game is overrated. This game is just straight up overrated
I mean-
because the sequel is way better. Like holy
okay.
crap.
Ah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the people saying I don't know if this opinion still even exists, but like I remember like seeing a lot of people saying Sonic Adventure 1 is better. Hell no, it's really not. Although I do prefer the only thing I prefer about Sonic Adventure 1 is Sonic's gameplay. I prefer Adventure 1 Sonic to Adventure 2 Sonic, but like everything else about this game is compared to Adventure 2.
Except
Oh,
Gamma.
yeah.
Except Gamma.
This is happening. Yeah, Gamma is better than the
Ex-
back stages, but
Oh yeah, this is happening.
Except Gamma, but yeah.
Gamma was also like super
Um,
broken in Adventure 1. Like you would have no trouble getting through stages as
Yeah.
Gamma.
Yeah,
You
he's
could
just super
literally,
easy
like-
to use.
You could literally, when you get to the end of the stage and fight the E series boss, you could literally just like stand there and mash B, and you.
That's what
Yeah.
happens when you give your character a gun.
Fucking Big the Cat. What were they thinking?
That okay. I will never defend that. That was awful. Awful.
Ooh,
Terrible.
goddamn.
Terrible
What?
gameplay.
Wait, what?
Big the cat gameplay.
Oh yeah. What? No.
No, don't.
Don't.
Please don't. Please
X,
don't
I
do
want
this,
you
man.
to calmly and rationally think about what you're about to say before saying it.
Rogue.
And if you
Incineroar,
really
man.
and if you're really passionate about Big,
Incineroar.
just remember that I have mod privileges, okay? Just remember.
So
dude.
me.
Okay, dude.
Yeah, but we're also filming, so if you boot me.
Do you think I give a shit what
Man,
people
I
think
have
about me?
video evidence of your abuse.
I'm not abusing shit, all right? This is a justified action. Nobody does that to Big. Nobody stands Big like that. Check
30
yourself.
Is, yeah, 30 is a better Sonic game.
Generations was good, very
Yeah.
good.
I mean,
Generations
But
was
this man
solid.
has Unleashed above it. Ugh.
I mean, at least Unleashed still looks really good for a. Not a Wii game. Well, I mean, it is a Wii game.
It's a
but
PS3
it's
game
also
as
on the
well.
360. Yeah. Because it looks a lot better on the 360 and
The
PS3.
best generation games, as I like to call it.
Generations was cool. I don't like that the modern Sonic sections had such long 2D sections. That's the same
Yeah.
problem I had with Sonic Colors. But this game controls way better than Colors because Colors is a steaming pile of shit that I never want to
Oh my
touch
god,
again in my life.
I gotta
Rocket!
get Colors right, dude.
Rocket! Burst! 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 Burst!
problem I
Burst!
have-
Burst!
Laser,
Burst!
rocket, laser,
The problem I have with
burst,
this game, like in
Void,
concept, is that
hover.
2D. Guys, please, I just want to say something.
Something!
So do I.
But like, why are there 2D sections in the modern Sonic
Ye-
portion?
Yeah,
You have classic Sonic for that. Why are there 2D sections in the modern Sonic sections?
Because we can't level.
and they're like half the level sometimes.
You
so it
guys
makes
like
no
this,
sense.
right?
Yeah. It's just weird.
It's good. I
But
mean,
they
gave
I-
us
I-
some-
I-
they
I'll
gave us
give
some
Generations
great-
this.
like
It's
that-
very modern.
Yeah, but like, it's just like it might just be me, but like the reason why I feel like people praise it so much is because of the nostalgia factor, for one thing.
The game
I
is
mean,
Yeah,
nostalgic.
hell yeah, easily.
They gave us some really
But,
good
like-
remixes of music stuff.
That too.
Very
Crisis City.
I'm sure it has
Game
like
was
really good.
literally-
I haven't played it, but I'm sure it has like some good level design compared to like some games. Forces. But,
we don't
Not
talk about that
weak.
game.
Oh, hi, Eggman.
The game was literally meant to be a nostalgia panda. Like, come
Yeah.
on.
I mean, Forces gave us some
Alright.
good music too. There are some actually really good songs in Forces. If
Forces
you
has
just
a lot of good
dig.
songs. It's just bad game.
The gameplay's weak.
Yeah. I mean, when every level
um,
is 2 minutes long and you can like steam past it and then just get like an A rank or an S rank or whatever the highest rank is, it's just kind of like, why am I even playing this game other than to watch a movie?
Anyway, that's B tier. So we're going to A tier now.
Nice.
Yay!
All right,
Alright,
A tier.
We need to talk about these
We're-
games now.
Well, no, not yet. Well, we can talk about this one a little bit. We've talked about this game a lot anyway. This is also kind of a hot take for having it this low, but I still like SCT a
Oh
lot.
come on, dude!
Oh, damn. That is pretty low.
Again, this isn't even the highest Sonic game on the list, actually.
Well, yeah, because Unleashed is, you know.
God damn.
Yeah.
Say
SAT is sick. Shadow is sick. One of my favorite characters in anything ever.
Really? I didn't know that.
Probably my favorite rendition of Sonic easily. I don't see any other Sonic coming close to this one.
Sayonara. Shadow the Hedgehog.
Peak Sonic, peak
Yeah,
Shadow.
because he was never as cool again.
No, dude.
Peak Tails, peak
Peak-
Eggman,
Pick everybody. Like seriously.
I've come
Yeah, okay.
to make an announcement.
peak fandom.
Yeah,
Peak
peak
fandom,
fandom.
bro.
Like this
What
game
a
literally just like
molecular-
never. This game refuses to die. Like it comes back somehow. Like every
Chow Garden?
few years.
This is the
Fire.
This is, even though it's not my favorite, this is the melee of Sonic games, 100%.
Mhm.
Also, battle
Rightfully
mode is
so.
sick. Like if you ever have a
Oh,
friend,
I have played Battle Mode before. It is great.
battle mode is literally like the best experience you'll ever have.
It is pretty
But
fucking
what
good.
what friends?
Except when you hold forward in White Jungle and it just shoots you to the left for some reason and then you die.
What was that?
Destroy
Clip right now!
Clip right now.
I hate everything.
There's a reason I gave this game a 90, dude. This game is super freaking good.
But it still has a lot of weird bugs.
It's weird, but like also
I specifically
Really?
told you not to fuck my wife.
All right, you gotta get through like 28 more things.
Yeah.
Wait.
All right, so first,
we got time, dude.
No, we don't.
You didn't separate the tiers, by the way.
I didn't. Oh shit.
So is this A
Thank you.
tier? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Adventure
Sonic
is A tier.
Adventure 2 is in B tier.
No, no.
Kirby.
Triple deluxe, baby.
What? I'm now judging every game by the fact that it's above Sonic Adventure 2. Just
Oh
saying.
Lord, brother.
Well,
Okay, well, you know what? Look at from now on, look at the freaking number on the right. So yeah,
Fair
this game is really good.
Actually, yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about it.
Kirby.
One of the-
I used to think Kirby was like near infallible, but then we got Star Allies,
What? Really?
which is like not even a bad game, but it's just like it was kind of bare.
They
bones,
had
and
to
it's-
patch it to fix it into a good game.
Yeah.
True.
It released
Yeah, it
very
was okay.
incomplete.
For a long time, Kirby was like mini Mario, where just like the bad Kirby games just would not come out. Like you knew what you were gonna get
Like,
going into it.
And the
a couple
worst
You
Kirby game
can-
until Star Allies might have been like the one that
Rainbow
was, like-
Curse. Rainbow Curse. Don't get me
Yeah,
that was-
started
I
on
was
how
also gonna
bad
say-
that game
What about
is.
the clay one?
That
I
is
was also
Rainbow
gonna
Curse.
say the one that's like Pikmin, but it's Kirby. You know what
Mass
I'm talking about?
Attack?
Yeah, that one.
Mass Attack,
I've
yeah.
heard okay things about it. It's like
Yeah,
the
but, like-
spin-off ones that try to like force a gimmick down your throat are the ones that are usually the worst ones.
Yeah.
Like the platformer Kirby's are always really good. You really can't say anything bad about platforming Kirby games though.
It is a
Yeah,
Kirby
they're-
game.
Yeah, every time they say it sucks. Of course it does. It's Kirby. He sucks
Yeah.
stuff.
Speaking of mechanics shoved down your throat, but shoved down your throat well because the mechanics, the gimmicks are actually fun. This game,
Yeah, Robobot.
Robots. When you get an entire new mechanic down your throat, the very boss though.
is actually really fun. And then Kirby uses it to absorb the halberd. Like, hello.
And
In
then,
one
and
of
then
the
you play
sickest
Star
boss-
Fox.
Then in one of the sickest boss fights ever. One of the sickest themes ever.
Yeah, it's true.
This whole game is full of bops, full of good boss fights.
A nice like a motif with like the robots and stuff like that. I'm always a big like technology stan.
Yeah.
It's definitely my second favorite Kirby game. This game is super fun, dude. Love it. All right, first Pokemon game.
Oh, finally.
Finally. This one right here.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Chorus.
Or ass.
It's Pokemon. Like
More
Yeah,
like
or-
your ass.
what do you want me to? It's
I've actually heard like sort of
14
mixed
Yeah, people
opinions on
people
this
actually
game.
don't like this game.
is battle.
It's because of the water, isn't it?
Frontier.
No, like it actually like I've
A
seen
lot
like
of the original, like the Gen 3, like hard stands, really don't like.
yeah,
what
because
happened
it
with
like
four.
sucks the life out of what made Gen 3 really nice. It was just
Does
it
it
just
really?
yeah, it kind of felt like this bare bones type of remake. It's like, hey, let's remake this with 3D models because we can. But there wasn't really
And
like
not-
a lot of like
There wasn't many 3D. It was
care
like a bunch.
and like thought put into it. Almost
I-
like
Also-
everything after Gen 6.
I feel like the main issue is it came right after X and Y. But hey, it's much better than X and Y.
yeah, it's infinitely better than X and Y. Like you can't deny that.
Also, there's no battle tower.
There's no
Okay,
battle
whatever.
tower. They literally just copy paste that in. And it's like
Yeah, that was actually.
it could, as long as it was
that
the
actually, like,
tower.
really lazy.
If it was the tower, people would have been fine with just the tower because that's
They
part of the
literally
original
just
game.
copy pasted the battle.
But
whatever
hey,
it's called.
they gave Wally his own theme.
Yeah.
It was
Here's
good.
the thing. Here's the thing. They could have done.
And
They
Angel's just
they
like-
did bring a lot of good things to the table with this game, like the Eon Flute being able to like let
Fly
you have
you?
like flying and use the
Just-
Hoopa
The
portals to find
post,
legendaries
like the
and
post
stuff
game
like that.
chapter.
That was fun. The Delta episode was okay. Wasn't bad. It's just like there wasn't as much like
Charm.
it wasn't as fun as the original Gen 3.
Ugh, Gen 6.
Yeah, for real.
I don't remember Emerald that well at all, so I can't really judge. I can only judge based on ORS.
Well, here's the thing. I think out
No.
of every Pokemon game, I think I played Gen 3 the most.
Okay.
I played Sapphire like so much until Emerald came out. Then once I got Emerald, I played that a lot. And
I religiously played Sapphire.
like this like Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire just like
Yeah, these two guys are like the Gen 3 stands.
Like-
Yeah, I am that was my main game. I won level 100 at all my Pokemon that I used.
You
In
were
that
actually
game.
out of your mind. I still can't believe that shit. In Gen
Literally,
3, where like
in
the
Gen
levels
3,
go
where
up
the
to
highest
frickin-
level of Pokemon was level 56 or 8 or
Okay,
something
what
like
is
that.
wrong with you?
except in
There are
Emerald.
a lot
in
of
Emerald
things
it's
wrong
like
with me.
70 something.
Yeah, but guess what?
Stupid.
That's like a one-time fight. GG.
But yeah, like it just didn't feel as fun. Like there were like some new things that it added to the table that were cool. Like the Wally fight was different. The like they added the Delta episode.
They
the
added some new
Deoxys
Pokemon
stuff.
in.
It was really
They had
cool.
fairy. They've had fairy type to play with.
I hate.
Yeah,
Listen.
fairy types.
I hate the fairy type so much. I don't ever want to talk about it.
All
That's a
right.
good idea for a list. The top things that I do not like in video games, and fairy type would be really high.
Oh boy.
All right, let's
All
move
right.
on. This is Maka's list, not ours.
Yeah, for real.
Actually,
Okay.
let's just at least give him room to speak. Like, what did you like about this game besides it's Pokemon?
Um, low key, I just really fucking like Pokemon. Honestly,
Okay.
I respect
I'm
it.
like, yeah, it's
For a
it's.
guy that hates turn-based.
Oh, speaking of turn-based RPGs,
Wow.
ladies and gentlemen,
Howdy.
incoming.
Oh no, is this
We,
gonna
oh
be?
wait, no, not yet. We gotta talk about Return to Dreamland first.
Okay.
Nice.
The best Kirby game. I don't screw your Superstar Ultra. This is the best
Okay,
Kirby
dude.
game.
See, here's the thing. I have a very hot take on
So-
Kirby. I think Amazing Mirror is the best game.
I don't see it. This like okay, even I don't even need the graphics argument. Just the level design, the bosses, the
Okay,
abilities.
I will admit, Magalore,
alone?
Grand Doomer, like those bosses were
Grand
really good.
Boomer.
But like, you fight Master Hand in fucking Amazing
Okay, yeah,
Mirror.
actually,
Like,
yeah, that's
hello.
true.
You fight Master Hand and
It's a
Crazy Hand. Like,
melee
hello. And then you get the Smash ability.
Yeah, Amazing Mirror is pretty. It's probably in my top 4. I put it above Double Deluxe. I don't know. It's really
So
close.
like take this into perspective. You get the Smash ability after you inhale Master Hand, and then you start playing Subspace Emissary. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, that's
As
pretty
Kirby
fucking dope.
only. It's fucking
pretty dope.
amazing.
All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, Return to Dreamland's really good though. And at the True Arena, whew,
I love this true. This is my favorite True Arena in the entire franchise. So fun. Love it. All right. All right.
24.
This is so. Here's the speech.
Oh no!
So-
Why is it here? No, dude.
Hey,
Okay,
it's
so
higher up
listen,
than
we
Rising.
are only going to praise Kingdom Hearts 1. We're gonna rip on Kingdom Hearts 1 when we get to the Kingdom Hearts games that are higher on the list.
Okay.
However, to talk about what Kingdom Hearts 1 does good, we have to talk about what separates it from other JRPGs. So,
Well, it's an
we're
action
gonna
RPG
go on
for the first
record.
thing.
Yeah, it is an action RPG. So, we're gonna finally go on record and talk about why this entire genre is fucking trash. So here we go.
That was
Big-
bad.
oh man, oh my god,
my man
it's
put
really bad.
Dragalia Lost in this.
That's
I
a
just
gotcha.
I just found this on Google Images. I don't know what the fuck any of these games are besides Dragon Quest. I think that's Octopath on the right. I don't even
Octopath
know.
Dragon Quest. That's literally.
Yeah.
What the fuck is the
okay.
left?
I don't know.
Bravely
What is it?
Default?
No, that's not Bravely Default. I've never seen them in it.
Right. So I'll leave the subjective stuff for the end. I'll just start with the objective stuff. The issue is that the biggest issue with this is that it's a completely stale genre and it's not as good as it should be. So for action games, like real-time games, not even just like your Bayonetta, your Devil May Cry, even like platformers and stuff where you do stuff in real time. There is for non-turn-based stuff, basically, right? There is a physical component to every single one of these genres. Once you like learn the game, once you learn the mechanics, once you like you get familiar with like the gimmicks and stuff, there's a physical component. It's not all mental. There is always a pressure on the player to perform on a physical level once you like learn the mechanics of the game, basically. Unlike this isn't a problem in and of itself, really, because like even like outside of video games, a lot of games are completely mental. Like they have, like you do your chess, your checkers, those kinds of games, right? But what makes those games work is that they're PvP. So like there's always like a mental interaction between the players like in the game. But for video games, it's always unless it's like Pokemon or something or like Yu-Gi-Oh, where it's like the mental there's some way to add like a human aspect to the game. It's gonna end up getting stale because there's no other mind for you to compete with. It's just you ending like trying to solve
The
a puzzle.
AI. Yeah, it's just you
Yeah,
versus
the
the
AI,
AI.
right? Yeah, and what ends up making that stale is if you're just like If it's a game where you're just basically solving a puzzle or like a series of puzzles for the entire game, there's the process of learning the game and like becoming better at the game doesn't really have much to do with playing the game itself. It's all mental, to the point where like if you can basically like study an RPG without ever having played the game and become like extremely fucking good at it. Whereas like that would never work with like a well-designed action game because you have to get the muscle memory and you have to get the actual experience. You can get good at an RPG without even playing it really. That's Oh, whoa, what the fuck? What just happened with me? Wait,
Okay,
1 second.
so
Right. So that's one issue, right? Number two is number two is the way how do I
Wumbo.
yeah, the wumbo. How do I say this? It's the way that this entire genre has just staled out, right? So basic you can I don't like making general statements, but it's not even the genre's fault. It's the way that the genre is handled. Because for most RPGs, you basically like you got kind of the same formula. You have your like your beginning spells, your beginning attacks, your like your turn-based battle system. You have your fire.
Oh,
Your
yeah, okay. I think I can explain this better.
go
All
ahead,
right.
go ahead.
So, from the beginning to the end of the game, let's say you have your level 1 sword. It does a decent amount of damage, for against level 1 enemies.
Yeah.
But that's all. It's just a number, okay? So, like, if you take everything away from it, it's just like a +5 to your attack. Let's get your final ultimate weapon level sword in the game. It's just a bigger number. It's not like it does anything else. It just does what the level 1 sword does, but better. And that's kind of like how a lot of old RPGs were, because it was just like a numbers. It was just all about just getting bigger numbers without actually like actual progression besides that. Because like the whole reason you would grind is because you needed to have more numbers to fight the boss most of the
No
time.
numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it wasn't like you were actually being held back because you didn't have enough skill. It was because you didn't have enough
The
numbers.
numbers.
So you're like, and Pokemon has this problem too. Like if you don't grind if you don't grind to a certain point, or like if you don't have the right Pokemon, then like
You get clapped.
you'll get beat. But it's not exactly like your fault. You had to get your numbers up higher so you could bypass
Yeah.
the gate. Essentially, like that's really all it was.
It's like the old, really old, like artificial difficulty argument.
Yeah, I think a lot of newer RPGs have fixed this problem somewhat, but I get where you're coming.
So I'm not sure like what percentage I would say fixed it, but like the big issue to me is it's a fixable problem. Like we see that like the cream of the crop RPGs, your Final Fantasy VII with the ATB system, your Final Fantasy X with the sphere grid system, your Indivisible, which basically like took the Final Fantasy system, added onto it a bit. You have like ways to remedy this like super homogenous system that's just like prevalent in every single fucking JRPG, right? And but like most RPGs, they just don't do that. Like Undertale, I have the Undertale's on the list. It's super freaking high, but like it's not for the gameplay. It's basically like a turn-based RPG with like some bullet hell mixed in.
With some
It doesn't as far as gameplay goes, it's innovative in that the gameplay is like integral to the world, integral to the lore. But as far as like purely gameplay goes, it doesn't do anything like remotely remarkable, really. It's like I find that that's just an issue with a lot of the genre. I don't like making super general sweeping statements, but aside from like these super elite that I just named, and like of course there's a few others that are really fucking good that have like really neat gimmicks. If you've played one, you've basically played the vast majority of the genre. And even beyond that, right? The way aside from like the super elite that remedy the problem in really creative ways, most JRPGs and almost pretty much all of them went about it in a really stupid fucking way. Because I feel like a lot of developers actually realized that, oh, the vast majority of this game is just artificial difficulty. There's not really much skill involved. You just have to get the bigger number to win, right? So and it just becomes like solving a bunch of puzzles for the entire game. Not really, because you can just go get the bigger number, and even if there is like some like gimmick for a boss or whatever, you figure out the gimmick and then you just win. You just keep moving on. Boom, right? There's no like there's no physical component of the game to like put the pressure on the player even after you figured out the strategy, like a Kingdom Hearts game. Even if you figure out like the boss's patterns, you still have to execute, right? There's no physical component, so once you figure out like a boss gimmick for an RPG, you just go, right? So what do they do to spice up the game instead? Instead of like adding some extra mechanic to the game to make it more interesting, to make it more skill dependent, they dip into the resource that is RNG. So you add your critical hit chances, you add your burn chances, you add your special effect like random chances to proc. You add your loot drops. You add all of these different effects that have absolutely nothing to do with the player's skill and just like are completely out of your control. That's you know how not good that is? When Hero got into Smash, everyone was pissed because that shit doesn't fly in real time games, especially not fighting games. Everyone was livid that this mechanic that completely takes control away from you was like integral to one of the characters, to the point where he almost got banned. He did get banned in some regions, at least for a little while. It's like it's this thing that like really only flies in RPGs to the extent that it does. It's just like really weird how it's like super accepted. It is I don't know. And it just always rubbed me the wrong way.
I
The
Sounds
think
like
critical hits were like I think they were implemented to kind of give players that sort of like do or die kind of thing. Like if you were to if you're fighting a
slow.
boss and you're like down to your last character, you get the critical hit and like you manage to like edge it out just barely because you got
Yeah,
because
but then the boss crits you too.
yeah, that's true. I think
Just
it's
hype,
like
don't get me
I
wrong.
think I think it's like
But
to just spice up the gameplay so it's not like you can always guarantee that you will live this attack because there's always that little chance you could get critted and like that's a lot of things like with Pokemon too. Like you have to respect the crit.
yeah. Oh my god. Oh,
so. I
yeah.
have like a little bit to say about like the RPG aspect in general, and you're probably going to disagree with me on this, but bear with me.
Mm,
So
Um,
oh,
I
I'm here to
think
disagree. It's okay.
yeah. But like, here's the thing. I think that you might be looking at RPGs and JRPGs in a different, like in an opposite way that you should be. It's
Okay.
not the gameplay. Like, don't get me wrong, a game is a game, and the gameplay needs to dictate what makes the game good. But RPGs kind of give the game supplementation to the story in order to engross you more into the world and the lore
Yes.
and the story.
I no,
RPG is
I
more
actually
about story anyway.
100% agree with this. This is something I've definitely noticed. That's definitely how a lot of JRPGs are. And this next point, this actually leads into the last thing I was gonna say. This is a completely subjective thing. This isn't a knock on the entire genre. Because if you like the gameplay, that's completely fine. It's like that's your prerogative. But like on a personal level, I can't if I buy a JRPG and it has like a bomb ass story, but the gameplay is like a trick, like it's like painful to drudge through. I'm just thinking like why might as well have watched this or this might as
Yeah.
well have been an anime. So like if you that's just a personal thing. That's not like an objective criticism, but like that's one of the reasons that Final Fantasy VII got kind of soured for me. Along with the Nomura BS that inevitably just creeped its way into the game. But as far as the gameplay goes, it kind of just I expected them to lean into the RPG aspect. I just didn't expect it to lean into it as heavy as it did, especially since it was made from the same team that did freaking Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah, but you have to understand like, and I did say this in DMs, but like obviously to draw on that RPG aspect is that you don't really have as much freedom as you do in Kingdom Hearts, and
Yeah.
I think like working with those limitations and being able to manipulate them in your favor is like something. It's almost like a thing of beauty, honestly, because like if you watch hard mode runs of certain bosses, like even Hell House or the Turk battles, like you can see like how you can just completely break the game.
Yeah, I've seen people like no damage shit. It's like, oh my god, like
Like
How?
this game has a really high. That game really has a really high skill ceiling. It's
it actually
incredible.
does. It's nuts.
Okay, so this
What was
was
that?
like
That
a
was loud.
huge tangent, but like
Huge
Can we talk
tangent.
about
Oh,
Kingdom
yeah.
Hearts 1 now?
Yeah, we can
let's
talk about
actually
Kingdom Hearts.
talk about
So,
Kingdom Hearts 1.
yeah. So, um, that's back to like the taking control away from the player point and just like not having to play the game to get better at the game. That was my problem with RPGs. That's not what Kingdom Hearts did. Some dude at Square and some Disney people said, you know what? First of all, we're gonna make a Final Fantasy Disney crossover. And we're gonna make an action game. We're gonna make an RPG. We're gonna make a platformer. We're gonna make a dungeon crawler. We're gonna make a railgun shooter. And you know what?
That guy
It's
just
all gonna be one game. Like in 2002. Like what were they thinking? On paper, there's no reason why this game should have
And a
worked.
musical.
Yeah, like what? Oh, that's Kingdom.
Oh,
That's Kingdom
no.
Hearts. That's Kingdom Hearts
and
2. But yeah. But like this game was super freaking ambitious, and it worked. Like all these elements just like blended together super well. It took all the cool stuff like from the RPG genre and it plopped it into a real-time setting, and it actually meshed really well. You have a dope magic system that blends together with the real-time combat, and I really respect Kingdom Hearts 1 for like that is really loud, Akron. What is that? Is someone watching something?
It's Akron.
Kev,
Oh,
you're loud.
Yeah. You're loud.
that's what he thinks. Okay, yeah, I just really respect Kingdom Hearts 1 for like going out on that limb and trying that.
We
'cause
wouldn't have
even
gotten
though,
that type of game without this game.
even though I feel like the direct sequels are just better designed as far as gameplay goes. KH1's sick. Kind of dog on it because I prefer the other two, but KH1 is still like a super good game. That's why I really like it.
Monstro.
Monster.
All right, that was a long speech. Just keep going. Back to speedrunning. Xenoblade X. Um, kind of
74.
kind of a poop story, decent-ish characters. Gameplay is pretty cool. The world is absolutely beautiful. That's the high point of the game easily. Just super fun to run around and shit. Graphics on graphics on point. Music is on point. Some of the coolest boss battles I've ever fought. This game was hype. I liked it. All right, 22. Everybody's gonna like this. Can I get an Unist, boys?
Oh yeah. I put the fucking alphabet.
A B C D E F G.
Oh
Under
yeah.
Night is so
Oh
good.
yeah.
Holy crap. Such a
Oh,
well-designed-
the
the-
best fighting game. I don't care what anyone says. It is the best fighting
Honestly.
game. Play
the
Under Night.
The grid system is so freaking sick. Like, oh my
So
god.
good. So
It's
balanced.
so smart.
Everything is so balanced too. Like
Oh my god, it's so goddamn balanced.
Like every character feels broken, or almost every character, excuse me, in like their own way.
Yeah,
but,
oh,
like,
poor
it
Enkidu.
balances-
Time and hey, he's good now.
yeah, he
He's
is good
decent
now.
But yeah, this game is just it's
Bro,
super
I
good.
actually think that Nanase might be the worst character in the game now.
Thank God.
Loki?
Like-
Worst theme, worst character, worst world. The music is freaking orgasmic.
Besides Nanase's theme.
Besides,
Wow, not a second shafted as hell.
the setting is sick.
Nanase sounds like a slice of life rom-com opening.
Loki.
And then you get her BDSM friend.
Phone on. Ugh! Fuck! Fuck! Why'd you have to remind me of Phone on?
Sick music, sick
Oh.
settings, pretty good characters actually.
Yeah,
a
they're written pretty
decent
well.
Story mode.
Merkava is the most interesting character. Don't at me.
I don't know. Gordo's pretty up there.
I
like
mean, Gordo's up
Gordo.
there, but Merkava is like tragic.
True. Yeah. Them and
I like Chaos too. Chaos is cool.
this is cool.
Chaos.
Dear God, chaos.
That's pretty fucking good, dude. Alright, let me get this out of here.
Resident
Twen-
Edgelord Seth.
21.
Literally has the virgin walk.
Virgin Walk. Oh no, let's not do stuff like that. Let's move on.
Mika.
21.
Ah,
Oh,
yes,
wow.
Brawl.
Do-do-do-do.
Say what you want about the competitive aspect of this game, but this was super ambitious for its time.
Hell yeah, Subspace is to this day nuts. Just the single player content is still like
Really nice.
Ultimate gives it a run for its money outside of like if you take Subspace out and World of Light out, Ultimate kind of gives it a run for its money, but I still think Brawl takes it. Like boss battles is insanely good. Coin Launcher is pretty fun. I spent way too much time in Coin Launcher. I don't give a fuck.
Mind you, this is also the
Um,
first game that made Stage Builder.
Yeah, the soundtrack.
Baller.
Can we play the theme? Can we play fucking
Hey, go ahead. Freaking go
By
ahead,
the
dude.
way,
It's not
this
S
game
tier, but just go ahead.
single-handedly saved Kid Icarus.
Oh
Kid Icarus
hell
got
yeah!
Uprising because of this.
Sakurai battle.
The soccer bias.
Game's super good.
we
Balance
have
could
we
use
have to
some
play
work,
it.
obviously, but
We need to.
Brawl is will always be legendary, to be honest.
It even gets us quality mod.
Oh my god, why did I main Ike? I mained Ike when I was like a kid playing this game, then I came back when I started actually learning Smash games and I played Marth like I did in every single other Smash game. Massive improvement, obviously. But yeah. I don't know, I have a lot of respect for Brawl. Nostalgia, obviously, even before I started playing competitively, but yeah, Brawl is awesome.
I think I started this game with Pika,
Well, yeah, you're set. You're basically set.
which some people think that Pika is the only character in the game that goes even with Meta Knight.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Pikachu's like always been good.
Yeah, Pikachu has never been bad in
Literally.
any Smash game. Like, it's kind of crazy. Like, the worst he was in was Melee, and you see what Axe can do with him.
Axe won a tournament with him.
Yeah, Axe won fucking Summit 7 with him, dude.
It's insane, bro. Yeah, that's Brawl. What's above Brawl? Oh, there it is. Number 20. Number 20.
Oh, there he is. There it is.
I just like this game probably more than I should because number one, even to this day I really like Sonic, and two, I like action games, and they kind of just put them both in one game, and I was happy. I get why a lot of people don't really like it because like the Werehog basically isn't Sonic. They just threw like an extra genre in there. So like the Sonic fans, I get it. They're like, okay, what the fuck is this?
You know, it feels
what
like
I
a
signed
hack
up
and
for.
slash.
Yeah,
It feels like a hack and
Basically.
slash, and it's
Fleshed
not bad.
out one.
it kind of is.
Not as fleshed out, yeah, that's true, but it still feels like a hack and slash, and it's different. I will give it credit where it's
I
due.
don't really
It tried to bring
understand
something
the
new to
whole-
the table.
I don't really understand like why people seem to get up in arms when like a different gameplay style is added to Sonic because like
Because Sonic go.
Adventure 1 and 2
Fast.
yeah, like
It's like half the
Obviously,
reason the
like-
adventure games were sick.
yeah, like it had a lot of gameplay styles, but like they all still had like the same sense of most of them. I mean, they usually had the same sense of like going fast or like doing cool stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because like I mean, treasure hunting in Sonic Adventure 2, if you
Local
found
Nugs
the
God.
shard, if you find the shards fast enough and without hints, you get bonus points. So like it tests your knowledge of the level itself and your ability to traverse the level. And then for the next segments, they want you to rack up combos and like destroy as much stuff as possible. So like they want you to, you know, like do cool stuff. So I don't see like why
But
the Werehog is any different as if they can replicate that.
overall, the characters play the same way. You jump with a certain button and you use your attacks or like abilities with another button, right? But like you're not taking two different play styles because they all feel like you're operating the same type of game. Like in Sonic Adventure 2, you're still feeling like you're operating a character based on like the control scheme that you have. But with Sonic Unleashed, you have like this whole different like combo system with like with attacks and stuff. Meanwhile, when you're playing as normal Sonic, you're just holding in a direction and then like using your spin dash to like maneuver yourself. So it is a bit jarring in that sense.
That's fair. I mean, I haven't played it either, so
I played a little bit of it, and I watched my brother play a lot. He got to like the China place and then gave up. But like,
Chunnon. Yeah. Run is kind of frustrating at night. Yeah. Like a beautiful game. I still think this is the best looking Sonic game. Like,
And it's like a freaking
I don't know why it looks so good. Like the fuck, this game's old.
Chip
Yeah.
sucks though. I don't like Chip.
I don't like Chip either. Yeah.
Okay. Wow,
Music.
we're not even at an hour yet, and you're already halfway through your list.
Oh,
Pretty much.
sweet. We can because we're gonna spend a lot of time on the S tier.
Yeah.
I've some video games I fucking love, dude. Yeah. So let's keep going. Ooh, 19th hype. 19th hype. Y'all are gonna like this.
Bring it on,
Y'all
bring it on,
better
bring it on.
like
Come on,
this.
come on, come on, come on.
Drop it. Drop.
The score is kind of low because this game is super unpolished, but the content, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, this
Actually,
game is gigantic. Like, holy crap. This puts every single official Pokemon game to shame with the amount of crap you can do. It is nuts.
It's kind of crazy.
It's crazy. I think I have I'm pretty sure I have 80 or over 100 hours or something. And I haven't even come close to doing everything.
So for those of
Suzerain
you,
game,
yeah,
Go ahead.
we should probably explain what it is. So Zeta and Omicron is a fan-made Pokemon game, obviously, right? Made by the god Suzerain, who doesn't know how to program games sometimes. Insurgents.
Suz, if you're watching this, we love you.
We love you. We're
And
waiting
the
for
entire-
Insurgents.
the
We're
entire
waiting for
team.
Insurgents. Resurgents. We're
To
waiting.
the third,
We're waiting
one of
for
the
it, bro.
Rocket Pros. I see y'all. Thank you guys so
I
much.
can't
for
wait.
the
I
rest of
can't
the
wait to
team.
play Insurgents again, dude.
I actually just cannot wait.
Like
Good luck,
it's gonna
guys.
be so great. But anyway, Zeta and Omicron was the first game before Insurgents, and it was to like experiment with that kind of stuff in a Gen 3 engine of sorts.
Yeah.
There are what 3 regions in the game? 3?
Yeah.
There are
Yeah, not
3 whole ass finished regions
It's
in the game.
nuts.
Like a lot of hidden bosses, a lot of different types of Pokemon to catch. It doesn't have as many like unique aspects like Insurgents had, but that obviously the Insurgents is a general overall improvement of the fan made Pokemon series because Suzerain made it after Zeta and Omicron did, right? Obviously. I just want to put on record that Magmortar is one of the best Pokemon in the game, and you can't tell me otherwise, okay? You can't.
A literal
Head
ass.
ass. Magmortar slayed Devavis, the god, okay? I don't want to hear
I can't believe
anything.
it.
Fucking
Yeah,
Magmortar.
took that dude off my team. And I still
I
clapped.
unintentionally named an RP character after Omicron, so like, yeah.
Actually, yeah. Yeah, this game is super sick. Love
So
it.
good, so good. It's
Like I said,
I need to finish it. I'm in the second region. I think I'm like 4 gyms in.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll get back to it.
Super unpolished, has some music issues, has some graphic issues, but just like it's still hella fun. Hella fun.
It's way better than Sora Light and Lunar Dark. Way better. Oh, I'm tilted. All right, next.
Alright, what is 18? Oh, 18. Back to the action games, boys. This is kind of a new release, but this game is super sick.
Ooh, Astral Chain. Okay.
Yeah, the gameplay. I was kind of bummed at first when I first got this game because it's a one button game. There's one attack button, but because you basically have like 5 move sets by the time you get like all your like summons, all your legions, the game is super deep. And like by the time you get because like the post game is like longer than the main game. There's like a bunch of extra missions and they force you to actually learn the combat. Just the Platinum Games is really good at teaching you how to play their games because with this game you get like I don't know how much you guys know about the game, but like this dude in the back with the glowy eyes, he's like the first summon you get, and he has his own moveset. He has like swords and stuff, and then you get like a summon with arms, and then another summon with an arrow, and then another summon that's basically a dog, and then a summon with like a big buster sword, and they all have different movesets. They all have different special abilities. And different enemies in the game, they require like you to use different summons and their special abilities to take care of them in like different ways, like combine the abilities of your summons in different ways. And then the final boss requires you to put like everything together, and just like you're just like constantly swapping summons and doing all this crazy shit, and it feels amazing. Like you got the bumping OST in the background. The OST for this game is amazing, by the way. And it felt like a Platinum game. It felt really good to get back to Platinum Games. Super good developers. Probably my second favorite Platinum series I've played. Yeah, because Bayonetta.
Bayonetta!
The second probably. Yeah, this is super cool. Characters are meh, the story is meh, but the gameplay is phenomenal.
That's kind of how Platinum games are. It's more focused on gameplay rather than story, anyway. So
Hell yeah, brother.
yeah, it's not bad.
Hell yeah. 17. Oh, let me get rid of the picture first. Anyway, 17. The other fan game, the better one,
Oh! You're gonna
Insurgents
spoil me
Boys.
already. Okay. Oh, Pokemon Insurgents.
This game is so good. The music is so good. The characters are pretty
I
sick.
want to give a
Again-
shout out. Like, I don't know who he is. I don't know his name. I'm sorry, but the composer for the music tracks did a phenomenal job
It's pretty. Some
by
of them
making
are
the
kinda
songs don't not even sound like Pokemon songs.
Like, yeah, some of them are.
Megalo.
Some of them are kind of like tonally inappropriate, but the songs themselves are fucking bangers, bro. They're so sick.
And now
Nick.
let's talk about a Pokemon game that actually has a really good story. Really
Yeah.
good.
I
Like,
dig it.
actually, props, Suzerain. You did a great job, like, writing a story. Like, a good story. It was
They're
deep.
just-
It was, like, way better than fucking X and Y or anything past Gen 5.
Damien is probably like a better rival than almost any Ganon rival. Besides, like
low-key. Like,
maybe like Charon and Bianca, Silver, maybe
Yeah.
Gary. I don't know.
nah, I would
Not
definitely
even
put,
Gary.
I would put Damien over Gary for
Gary
sure.
doesn't even have a theme. It's
Like,
literally
I
just
feel
a
I
champion
like
theme.
like throughout the game, I really like it was like a kind of like almost like a Theo type of situation with Uranium,
Yeah.
but like
You don't
throughout-
like him at first, but then
you
after
like
you
really
see
like
what he
learn
goes
to
through,
feel for him,
Yeah.
and especially fucking when whatever happens to him. I'm not gonna spoil anything because we have someone in the
Mhm.
chat right now that's listening that hasn't played the game that should totally play the game. Angel, I'm
I
talking to
I
you.
never played the game.
Have fun, Angel. It's super sick. Even
It's such a
though-
good game, and it's not easy. It is
I
not an
haven't
easy
played
game
it.
at all.
The second
Let's
gen
talk about
leader
how
has-
hard this game is.
the
I like
second
how you guys
gen
are
leader-
advertising towards
Yeah.
played Insurgents. And
He's playing it right now. The second gym leader for the people watching the video, the second gym leader has 6 Pokemon, and you just kind of get slapped with that, and you're like, what the fuck?
And
does?
I have to, and honestly, you have to credit Suzerain for this, but some of the new Megas and the Delta Pokemon that he put in this game are so unique and creative. Like,
Yeah,
it is
yeah. This game
so
has.
nice.
We didn't even mention that this game has unique megas. It has regional variants, all of which are like super freaking useful and good. Completely like new sprites. It's just. There's so much content in this game. Just like Zeta Omicron. It's
I,
just-
for one,
there's an
rocked
insane amount of
Delta
stuff to do.
Gardevoir for my playthrough. I got to beat Jern with it. Jern
Omega
Omega Lol. Omega Lol. Fucking what a joke. Oh my god. How do I live a Dragon Ascent and then one shot you with actually I didn't one shot. I didn't
no,
one
you
shot.
one-shotted it. You one-shotted it.
No, here's what I did. I went for a nuzzle.
Oh yeah.
I nuzzled him,
Oh, wow.
got the paralysis for that extra damage, and then I hit it with that ice beam. ×4 effective and one shot Mega Rayquaza.
Unbelievable.
Fucking
I was rocking the Delta Caesar, the ice type, so yeah, I kind of clapped him too.
Fimblevetter, that's mine. Yeah.
I love this game. And then the
I
the
retconned
final-
my whole fucking lore because of this game.
Yeah, bro, this game is sick. Love it.
convinced me
Oh.
to play it.
Play it.
Aye, fair enough. All right,
Fair
someone
enough.
send me the link after this.
Anyway, that is the last game in A tier, so we're going into the big boys now.
Here we go.
Oh, we're starting off with some hype. Ladies and gentlemen, this game is on the Switch now. Please play this.
Wonderful 101!
This game is fantastic.
Amazing.
You remember
Amazing.
when you were a kid and like you basically wanted to save the world? If you don't, then Platinum Games did. this game is just this is such a feel good game. It's so good. Actually has some dope characters. The plot's all right. The gameplay it's Pikmin plus Platinum Games. It sounds like it shouldn't work at all, but it
But it does, and that's the great part about it.
Also, I take it back. Never mind. I forgot this was Platinum too. This is my second favorite Platinum franchise. Easy, dude. Game is
Also
so
has
sick.
god tier remixes with Space Jam.
Like let's put it into perspective, right? The Wii U was a horrible console. Horrible, right? It was
Yeah.
basically made to run Smash Wii U.
This game,
Except for this game.
This
This
game-
game was so fucking good.
oh my god, this game flopped on a console that flopped. That's how badly it did. This game is so good that they had like a Kickstarter to bring this game to the Switch and Steam, and it blew past every single stretch goal because of how much people loved this game. Dog.
Let's put it this way. The goal of this game was only like $50,000, right? To port it to the Switch. They made that in the first 2 hours of the Kickstarter.
The fan base came through and was like, yo, we gotta get this
And it
game back.
completely blew up the fucking Kickstarter for this game. And they
It was
started making
insane.
millions and millions and millions of dollars. Right? Now,
like
we're
over a
hearing
million.
that the port is a little sus. But it's also on Steam.
Yeah.
It's also on Steam, it's on Switch, it's on like a bunch of different consoles. Shout outs to D Freak for giving me a code for the
I saw that.
for the Wonderful 101 Switch or the Steam release. I have it downloaded. I'm going to play it soon. Can't
I'm
wait.
about
I can't wait to
gonna
replay
that
this
joint.
game. I want to see how it operates without a Wii U clunky ass gamepad. What were they
I
thinking?
like the game. I like the
What were they
gamepad.
thinking?
I
Dude,
like-
it's so
I like the
heavy for no reason.
gamepad.
I hate it. I hate the gamepad. I got more arthritis playing with the gamepad than I did playing Kid Icarus Uprising on the 3DS.
Oh my god! Oh my. Okay.
Oh
no,
God,
hell
don't
no,
remind
bro.
me.
No way. No way. You're exaggerating.
My left wrist from holding up the gamepad just with that because I had to use the fucking stylus. Like, it's like a full body workout on your arm. Like, it's fucking crazy.
Good.
Yes, that's wonderful 101.
Beautiful game. And the final boss.
Oh, the sickest OSC like ever.
Fucking.
Featuring Bayonetta from the Platinum series.
And you can unlock Bayonetta. Like, hello.
Yes, it's just that good. It is just that good.
Alright, that's 16. 15. All of you know what this is. I'm the only one who's played it, but yeah, it's Maple Story.
I played a little bit. I remember playing with you for a little bit.
yeah.
I
you did, you
played
did, you
Maple
did.
Story 2.
Oh yeah. You did.
It's-
Number
It's
two.
gone though now. They got.
So I'm not like particularly like knowledgeable in Maple Story, but I did play a little bit. And
Yeah.
from what I did play, it was pretty fun.
This game is. I love the aesthetic of this game so much. Like, holy shit, the sprite work is phenomenal. The
Oh,
effects
the
are
attack
incredible. Like,
animations. We use them sometimes.
Ain't
yeah,
that right?
they're so good. I just started using them for Sprite series.
Ain't that right, Sam?
There's-
Come on, Sam.
yeah.
Get in here, Sam.
Not rest in peace. Yeah, Maple Story.
He's
Like
right
the
here.
old game,
I'm looking at him right now. He's right here. He's online.
Yeah, the lore is pretty sick. MMO lore is always nutty. Maple Story is no exception. X, are you here?
Hello.
Oh, okay. Hey, yeah, lore's cool. Gameplay is kind of shoddy. It's kind of just big numbers, but it's not all the time.
It's like
Not
I
all the
just
time,
haven't
'cause
had
it's actually
anything to
like a-
say because I haven't played most of these games
Yeah.
except like
That's-
Insurgents.
Yeah.
It's your platforming RPG.
All right,
Action
well,
RPG.
yeah. All right, X, talk. All right, it's a game. Talk. Say some shit.
Oh yeah, I saw Black and White and then I saw 2, so I was like, oh wait, okay. I have to change.
Oh wait, okay.
Oh wait.
Yeah,
No, it's
this
actually okay.
game.
It's okay, but like honestly,
not
this
as
game
good
is
as-
like the obviously like in a story perspective, it's far inferior to Black and White
Oh yeah,
1. I would
easily.
say.
yeah.
No, hell.
So
yeah.
like obviously the OST still slaps, even in this game.
I think it
Just like Black
slaps
and
a
White 1.
little more than Black and White 1.
It's
It's
doesn't
got
have end theme.
some places
It doesn't have
it
end
does.
theme, bro.
yeah. It also doesn't have the ending theme that Black and White 1 had.
okay, but like those are just 2 songs, and then you have Colress. You have all the remixes for all the gym
True.
leaders. You have Hugh. Hugh's fucking rival theme is really
You
good.
have the
Shit,
entire
actually, yeah.
soundtrack of Black and White 1 though.
Right, but like the new remixes that they introduced are really, really good.
I mean, like,
Neoplasma beats the crap out of OG.
Neoplasma actually beats the
Like I
crap
said,
out of old plasma.
I don't like the new
It's
ending
close.
theme compared to the ending theme for the first
Okay,
game.
so that's one song, right?
Okay, I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
So like it wins in some places but loses in some others.
I'm not
is what
completely
trying
sure.
to
All
get
right, so that's a
across.
trade-off. That's a
If you
trade-off.
understand, just understand that. Okay. We're
I
clear?
am.
Okay.
Listen. Okay. You don't have to get sassy with me, Mister. Okay, I understand.
Okay, dude.
I understand.
Okay.
You don't have
Okay,
to. You don't have to.
actually, like seriously though, this game probably has like the best post game out of any Pokemon game ever.
Fuck yeah.
Insurgents, but
Canon,
Official.
like actual official Pokemon
official.
game.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Okay, can we like? I know we like to jack off Insurgents, but like it's a fan game.
Can I jack off
Let's
Insurgents?
keep
a
it
little
real.
more, please?
But yeah, like post game is godlike in this game. Also, Black Kyurem is boss.
Also Black here.
But it can't ice punch.
That's gonna be Brago's XD5 ability. It's just gonna learn Ice Punch.
Punch.
Black
Awesome.
Kyurem's sick.
Super
Yeah,
good
Black
post game.
Kyurem is
Has like every legendary ever. Black
The-
Tower and White Tree Hollow. So fun, dude. I'm so glad I just gotta beat stuff up after the game was done.
Bro, Pokemon World Tournament.
Oh, can't believe they never brought that back.
That
fuck?
is
Like,
one of
why?
the best ideas they've ever had. Like you get to
It's so
refight old
dope.
characters,
What was the best idea?
everybody. Pokemon
World
World
Tournament.
Tournament.
Oh yeah, that was literally the best way to show
Like
gym leaders
it's
and
a
so
battle tower, but even better because it's actual characters instead of just like random.
And
people.
And they remixed every single fucking gym leader
Right?
theme and champion theme. And just like, oh my god, like there was so much in this game that was so good. And then X and Y came out, and it's just like,
I missed Gen
Yeah.
5, dude. Gen 5 was such a banger.
Yeah.
oh my god, Gen
Holy
5 was,
crap.
it is the best generation for sure. Like,
Oh, finally.
Gen 4 is
He sees
Gen
the
4 is still my
no,
favorite.
bro,
Gen,
I
Gen
have
5
agreed with
is
you
the
since
best.
day one. I have always been a Gen 5, like, I love Gen 5. It's my
I
favorite.
remember when Gen 5 came out and we were just like frothing at the mouth over the graphics.
Bro, like, hello? I was playing Gen 5.
Castelia City. Hello.
Like when, like, bro, I like to put this into perspective. I played this game in Japanese on a
Really?
ROM.
Yeah, you're actually OD.
I played this game in Japanese on a ROM, and then I played it again with an English fan translated ROM, and then I bought the game twice and played it twice. And then I got both versions of Black 2 and White 2. I played those. All right. So if anything, I'm the biggest Gen 5 stan here.
Actually, yeah. What the hell?
I put over 500 hours into Black 1.
Oh, that was me and Black 2. I played Black 2 way more because there's way more to do.
Yeah.
I still think Black 1's
that
the
was
better game.
that was in my Gen 5 glory days when I was in Smogon with Acheron.
Oh yeah.
I
when
understand
I
why
used
you
to
like
be
it.
when I used to be a monster in Pokemon.
Jackaron
You
was
were
actually like
actually a
fucking,
fucking monster.
invincible.
You were
I
actually
remember
a
he
monster.
legit was terrorizing the entire Spriter community. He was like a raid boss.
It
was
was
like,
it was so
I
for a
only
while,
managed
it
to
was
was
just
beat
like,
so
him
good.
once. I think I
Since
beat him.
when
I
were you
remember that.
under the impression you had me on the ropes?
I remember that fight. Like the heavens quaked within that final battle. I swear to God.
You know what's funny? In the clan too, Acheron was still one of the best people we had. I think we had one person named Master that was like really,
Oh my God.
really good. But still not as good as Acheron, because he was
Mine's
that good at
OD.
fucking Pokemon, dude.
Jesus.
I mean, he was the one that made me run rain teams though. Like unironically, I still have the notepad of the team that he sent me.
Wait, I want to
Wait.
see it. You got to.
I have-
After this, we have to finish.
I
You gotta
can look
finish
on my
this.
no, it's on my phone. It should be in
Oh.
my cloud.
We need to finish.
That's it. That's sick. Gen 5 is awesome.
Yeah.
Love it. Maybe someday we'll return
It's
to the
not here
glory
anymore.
days.
It's not here anymore. That sucks.
Yeah. All right.
I have
number
I
six.
I just
That's
don't really
funny,
think we will. I think like Pokemon has just become like this
Yeah,
machine.
we're fucked.
You know what's
Does
super
I
funny?
know.
Wait,
I'm just-
does Insurgents have battling like with your friends?
think so. It's just
No,
like
they
kinda,
took out online because it was kind of bugged. It might come back in
oh,
the big ass update that's coming. We'll see.
Huh, nice.
Do you know what's
Maybe,
really funny?
maybe. Don't quote me on
I was
code.
looking through the teams and to seeing if I can find like the team that Acheron gave me, but I found Smash 4 Bayo notes. Like
See,
how
at
to
least I respect you. You took notes on the fucking character, unlike like 80% of the
Iron.
community.
I
I
did
wanted
too. It's just like
I
Meta
needed
Knight
to
literally can't do anything against Bayonet.
I really
Oh, yeah,
needed to
yes,
figure
you
out how
did.
to DI that shit. Like low to mid percent, you SDI down and away, and then high percent you DI just straight away. You never
Yeah.
SDI up because you're unless you're just
Nope,
gonna pop
nope.
out.
That's what Nairo did at Genesis 4, and he got fucked.
And then you SDI side B in, so she can only connect another side B or a back air. Like don't be an idiot. You can avoid things. That's literally what the note says. Don't be an idiot. You can avoid things.
First
Oh,
one.
dude.
Number
I can't wait to talk about Smash 4
13.
when it's on this list.
Number 13, Action Games, God of War, incredible game.
This is the
This-
PS4.
Boy.
The PS4 one. Yeah,
Okay,
this
yeah,
game
yeah.
has
I'm assuming you're not talking about their.
this, yeah, this game has like legit almost everything, bro. There's very little wrong with this game. The
Boy
character,
of War.
Kratos is a sick character. The narrative is pretty cool. The graphics are
Boy.
incredible. The gameplay is incredible. This game is super deep. There's very little wrong with this game. There's a reason why it has a 93. Is this the highest score so far? I think it is.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, this game is really good. I would,
Yeah, boy.
if you like action games, I'd recommend this to almost anybody.
And
This
delved
seems-
into more of the Nordic lore of like gods
Yeah.
and
Yep,
shit like
and
that
me,
too.
me, big Norse guy. So me, my
Yep. Yeah, they're about to. Oh, we haven't even gotten into Ragnarok yet. That's the next game. Next game is gonna be crazy.
Oh shit,
Yeah.
that's gonna be
God
fun.
of War is super sick.
I should definitely get this game. I need to.
I feel nothing.
Game's dope. Number 12 is another dope game. We're doing a huge downgrade on the presentation side of things, but it has a higher score.
Undertale.
Undertale. This game has been talked about to death, but it's
Yeah.
still like revolutionary, really. There hasn't. I mean, there have been like Undertales before, but like no one did it quite like Undertale.
Nah,
obviously.
not really. It's
Goddamn.
a really good experience. Like my first playthrough, I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure I have skipped a few classes in college to play this game.
Oh,
Wow.
really?
Yeah. Bad decisions aside, this is a really good game.
I mean, I played this game
Really
like in
fucking-
one sitting. I'm pretty sure. Like I played all up to the normal
Holy
route.
Holy crap!
Yeah.
Must have been incredible, dude.
The speedruns of this game are actually really fast. Like I think they get it in like 45 minutes for all endings or something like that. It's pretty nuts.
What the fuck? That's
Yeah,
insane.
Because
What?
you could just like turbo through the speech with like just pressing buttons and shit. So
So
like
yeah.
you don't have to like watch all the
Also, the OST.
cutscenes. Oh, come on.
One of the best
Listen,
OSTs.
listen.
Ever
I'm gonna
for
put this right.
anything.
I'm gonna put this out on the table right now. Meme or not, Megalovania is a good song.
Hell yeah! It's
Megalovania is a
incredible.
great song,
And it
despite
was good
the
in
memes
the
that it
Halloween
got.
hack. It was
Halloween.
good in Homestuck. It was good in Undertale. It's good in Smash.
It's fucking
Probably gets-
Smash. I can't believe we're allowed to say that. That's crazy.
Bro, dude, when
Do you remember when he
Megalovania
dropped?
played? It was-
Bro, I remember the moment like it was literally yesterday. Like I know it was like not that long ago, but like
Oh
I was in the car about to get on the expressway to head home, right?
Yeah.
After work. And I was like tuning into the stream and all of a sudden I hear like rock music and it's just like
I was like, wait, did I leave a tab
and
open?
I think we all just laughed. We all
Yeah,
just
we
fucking
all just, like,
laughed.
cracked
We were
up.
in
I
voice call.
couldn't believe that Sans was in Smash, bro.
Oh yeah, and suddenly Sans.
Oh my god. And
That
the
was like.
reactions were so
When did
great
he
too.
drop again? What was it?
I
Was it
remember.
during
It was
Heroes?
the same direct that, like I said, Banjo Kazooie is out today.
Yeah.
That was a
Like-
And when
crazy direct.
like Sans literally stole.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Solar
like
Snowboard
everyone
Man.
was so hyped about Banjo and shit like that, and then
then
Sans
Sans.
comes in and everyone was way more hyped about Sans.
That was awesome.
Yeah, and the remix is great too, like the Smash remix. There's also a remix for another Earthbound game. I forget what it's called. I think it's called Nocturnal
It's
Dissonance
like
or
the
something
Halloween
like that.
Project or something like that.
No, not the Halloween Project. It's
I Miss You is the album that a bunch of Earthbound
Cognitive
fans made.
Dissonance. That's what it's
Oh
called.
yeah, cognitive. It's not. I don't think it's an official remix though. Like it wasn't done by Toby.
Okay.
Mm.
It's still in the
Alright.
game and it's pretty good. But yeah, Undertale's a great game. Definitely messes with your head the first playthrough, and it's like, wait, and then you get
Yeah.
like super invested. So it's like, I like games like that. Games that really mess with my head. I love that shit. Not in a scary way though, because I don't like horror.
It's weird because it's like a game that tries to get you not immersed in it because like of all the meta that goes.
Yeah, but it's just we could talk about Intel for a while, but yeah, it's dope. All right, number 11. Come back to the platformers, coming in at a whopping 99
Mario-
out of 100.
Mario Galaxy.
This is
2.
Mario.
Yeah,
Mario Galaxy.
Mario
This game is
Galaxy.
damn near perfect. They're really good.
2?
2, yeah.
Yeah, this is the game like he
a-
praises to high heaven.
Yeah. I mean,
This-
I don't blame him. This game is very good.
Game's fucking nuts. It's like the gameplay is obviously like a direct upgrade of Galaxy because it's just Galaxy with
Oh,
Yoshi.
never mind.
and-
Yoshi's on the fucking cover. I hate it.
Oh, come
dude.
on.
Smash Ultimate ruined Yoshi for me. I'm
Oh
sorry.
my
dude.
lord.
You have to separate
Yeah,
the character from the game.
I'm sorry, but with that big nose, like they're automatically connected. That nose,
that big invincible nose.
that nose has its
I can
own
never forget that
gravitational
nose.
pull, my dude.
I can never forget that nose.
I can never forget that nose and those feet, those Tims. I hate. Bring
But yeah.
Bling, ha.
Galaxy 2 is sick. I'll explain how I feel about Mario Galaxy 1 later on. I'll talk about Galaxy 2 later when we get to Galaxy 1, but there's
Like Galaxy
even
1
though
is
I
higher?
feel like that Galaxy 1's higher, even though I think the gameplay for 2 is a straight upgrade, I'll explain why Galaxy 1's higher.
I think I might know why, but I'll wait.
nostalgia factor for the most part.
I guess. Alright, the last game in A plus is Final Fantasy 15.
Oh
Of
my
course.
gosh.
This is
Wow.
super high. This is really high.
I'm surprised you
Um,
haven't rated that low though.
Yeah,
I mean, the storytelling
Choco
is
Bros.
just very good.
yeah, the 80 score, this game is tragic. This should have been one of the greatest games of all time.
But
It's
then
the
they
pieces-
stopped supporting it.
The pieces are like, you look at this freaking game, you look at like the cut content, you look at like the pieced content in the DLCs, and all the pieces are there. The pieces are there for a literal masterpiece, but it's just like it's jumbled and it's not there. So I don't think it deserves higher than an 80. Even though I personally had a hell of a lot of fun with it, it's flawed. It's very flawed.
I can tell like you researched this game a lot. Like you looked into a lot of like the behind the scenes stuff just from how much you talk about the cut content.
Yeah.
That's kind of like me
I
with
love-
a lot of my favorite games like Sonic Adventure 2 and all that stuff.
It's me when I
Yeah.
found out about all the different types of versions of Final Fantasy X there are.
What?
There are
We
so
will
many
not
versions of
forgive.
Final
We
Fantasy
will
X.
not forget.
Because there was the original Japanese, and then there was the Euro version, and the international version, which encompassed basically everything, and included the Dark Aeons and Penance, which is secret content that's locked behind these hidden encounters that you find after you beat the game. And then you have the remastered version, the remastered Euro version, the remastered fucking
Holy shit.
international version, and then
The
you have
remaster
X2,
with no brim.
and then X2, which we don't talk about, and
X2, but
oh no, we don't talk about X2. We don't talk about X2.
I guess keep talking for a little bit. I'm gonna like take it. I'm gonna go piss. Give me a
Okay.
bit.
go
On
piss.
the moon.
Can I jerk off Insurgents more?
No.
Yeah,
No.
okay, I'm gonna do it anyway. Bro, this game is so good. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, it is pretty good.
It is very good. Don't get me wrong. It's fantastic.
So there's 10-2.
Yeah, there is a Final
mean-
Fantasy X-2. We don't talk about
What?
it because it's kind of bad.
Kind of bad.
But it's basically a continuation of the story of 10, but it doesn't really do a good job. Basically, Yuna becomes, instead of a summoner, she becomes like this spunky double gun
Calm.
wielding girl. of sorts. Riku is still there. She's like she uses gun or knives still. And then there's this bitch named Pain, which I just don't know anything about because I never
Pain.
played that trash game. Tidus comes back at the end of the
Ah!
game. He's actually the final boss.
What?
Which is weird. Yeah. I don't know anything about Final Fantasy X 2. I don't care about it that much. I like Final Fantasy X. I love everything about that game. I'll talk about it in my list when it's number 1. But
Oh, God.
All right. Speaking of hype games,
oh, are we in S tier now?
we're
All right,
next
let's get
tier.
to now we can finally start playing some
Boy,
music.
Whoa, we're gonna break out some bangers for this. Starting off with one of the bangers to end all bangers. Hold on, let me post it. We got some godlike music for this right here.
Ah, yeah.
Oh,
There we
hell
go.
yeah.
Hell yeah, brother. 93 out of 100 because Black and White is a goddamn masterpiece. Best Pokemon story bar none easily. Not even a question at this point. Some of
Official.
the best OST in the series. The graphics are amazing.
Or DS
Like,
game.
just-
I mean,
Or it's
And
like
this is
for
probably
the-
one of the more mature Pokemon trainers themselves.
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
it's
I'm
one
pretty
of
sure-
the
I
more,
think
more
they,
ambitious games, I would say.
I think they
Or one of the most
stated
ambitious.
I think they stated that the main characters in Black and White were actually about 15 years old rather than 10.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So they're a bit more on the mature side.
Apparently the story took like a year to develop. Like they put some time into this joint.
You got to do it right.
What else was I gonna say? Yeah, it was super ambitious because like they tossed away the old. Like you were
There
basically
were no
it was
new
almost
Pokemon,
like
or there were no old Pokemon you could
No
use in
old
the
Pokemon.
base
It
game.
was only the new stuff.
They're like, you
It
can't,
felt like
you
a
can't just use your same team for the past 5 games.
Oh
or
my
whatever.
god,
You
it's
have
like they want me to use something different. How dare they?
And
New
people
Pokemon.
got mad. Like, people got mad at first.
because I have
they
to
could-
use a Snowcone now.
Yeah.
How
Because they were
original.
actually-
Oh, but
They're
now you look at all the
actually-
Gen 8 Pokemon and suddenly Vanillix and Garbodor ain't that bad, huh?
Not to mention, like,
Freaking
every game
awesome.
after this, okay, like, think about this. Every game after this, they have sub 100 Pokemon. This game had one more than the original Gen 1 roster. This game had,
It was insane the work that went into this game.
Like, looking at Castelia, right? You look at all of Castelia City.
like, it actually feels like a big city. I don't think, like, Lumiose doesn't feel like a big city like Castelia does, because, like, it doesn't have a crowd. Like, there's this one section in Castelia where you're running through, and there's just, like, this horde of people that you're having to, like,
Yeah, you. I remember that.
but, like, Lumiose City is just, like, it's just like a ghost town.
Yeah.
Even though it's supposed to be, like, this giant sprawling city, it doesn't feel like it.
I couldn't afford the models.
Yeah.
And unlike Lumiosi, Castelia doesn't brick your game when you save in front of big buildings.
Yeah, I mean, that was like basically like patch that out.
Yeah, they had to patch it out. Don't you think that would have been save checked already?
That's true.
Like this is a big company we're talking about. Pokemon is a AAA title, whether they like it or not. They need to proof this stuff.
Yeah.
And-
Well, everybody loves Gen 5 now, and rightfully so, because this game is sick.
Yeah, there's no reason to hate this game. There is actually no reason because it is objectively the best of the
You know what it
generations.
is? It like before this game, Pokemon was kind of held back because Pokemon was kind of carried by itself. It's Pokemon. It's always gonna make money. This game feels like a legit RPG. It has the characters. It has the story. It feels complete more so than any other Pokemon game. I feel.
And can we
Also,
talk
it
about
took
the difficulty curve? The game was actually not that easy. Not
Yeah.
at first.
And then your final boss was an actual chow, like very strict.
Freaking like gets us.
It just super broke the mold. Like you fight the E4, you're not even done with Team Plasma, and then N shows up having already beat it. Like they didn't do. They
You beat
didn't
the
pull that
champion. You
crap
didn't even
since
get to fight the
Gary.
champion. You didn't even get to fight the champion.
And then she pulls up with his dragon, and then you both send your dragons out, and then you're both doing like the super cool attack animations with this banger in the background. Is
Like it actually feels like an anime almost. Like
Yeah, it's crazy. It's so good. And then the post game isn't really like much.
It's very bare bones. I will say
It is
that.
very bare bones, but you still have some stuff in there, and that stuff gets developed on in Black and White too. So it's not like it's all like a giant waste like in
Also,
X and Y or
can we
Sun
just-
and Moon or Sword
can we
and
just-
Shield.
Can we just touch on the fact that Black and White 2 were the first actual like sequel
Sequels,
games instead of just like making the game again like they've been doing for like the past
but with a little extra
literally
sauce.
just since they started the franchise. Like this is the first time they tried to do something.
I mean, Heart Gold and Soul Silver and like Gen 2 is technically a sequel.
I know, yeah.
That's true,
It
but like
follows
I
I mean, like
It's
you
It's
know
not a
what I mean?
direct
Like,
sequel. There's like a
You
time
know,
skip.
like how you
It's
have
still
like the
good.
red, blue, yellow. You have like the third game that's always like just the original games, but like everything and better. Whereas like Pokemon Black and White were their own games, and then Black and White 2 were also their own games.
Yeah, I agree with that. Game is
Alright.
great. Game is fantastic.
Game's good. Can we delete all these messages, please?
I
Thanks.
got you. I got it.
Switch up the
Also,
music.
N is the best Pokemon character.
N, yes, N.
There
He's
100%.
Yeah.
gonna save you.
There isn't anything you could say about it either.
There's an anything.
Anything. Although, like everyone jacks off Driftveil City for being one of the best bangers, but I am a fan
It
of
is.
Nimbasa.
Oh,
Actually,
That's
I
just
haven't heard in Boston in a while.
Nimbasa is just so good.
Oh, never mind. It's all coming back now. It's all coming back now.
One of the best.
Actually, can you stop the song? Because we gotta move on.
yeah, I got it.
And Boston, I remember because like it has a good grinding spot where you go to like the stadiums where you fight like those trainers.
Based on the sports.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
that was always that was
I
always
remember 'cause
that was a yeah. It was a good grinding
I
spot.
always flew to Nimbasa before doing a Wi-Fi battle. That's the
And we got the
Just to
battle
hear-
subway there.
yeah, Battle Subway was sick too. All right, moving on. Number 8. Oh shit. Number 8. We're going back a generation.
Aw,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Platinum boys,
Remember
Platinum
that?
Little
X
lower.
was really good.
little lower on the score because, like I said, I think Black and White's the best Pokemon game, but Platinum was super sick.
Okay, like actually, Platinum fixes so much compared to other like third.
I can go
on for
a long time about how much Platinum fixed over Diamond and Pearl.
Also, Giratina is sick.
Satan!
Also, his theme is sick.
I don't have to
Like-
wait 6 years for a Blissey HP bar to go down, so that's cool. I don't have to wait 6 years to surf from the one route to go to Canalave City.
Oh
That's
my God,
also
I was
really
so
cool.
right on.
I'll have to wait an eternity to save just because I decided to.
I
check
have
my
a
PC.
lot of data to save, okay?
Saving a lot of data. ...
Dot, dot, dot,
It also
dot,
introduced some of the
dot,
coolest Pokemon designs ever made, like Magmortar and Weavile and
Lucario.
Gliscor, Lucario, Infernape, Staraptor,
My
What's right?
favorite. my
Kricketune.
favorite
No, I'm
region-
kidding. I'm kidding. Not Kricketune.
My favorite region, beyond the shadow of a doubt. Cynthia's amazing. This game's sick. The Pokemon
He's
is
a
sick.
Cynthia stand.
Dude, I'm so
Yeah.
scared. I am so scared for the Gen 4 remake, dude.
the
I-
best,
I-
the
I-
best leader of any team besides N, Cyrus,
Yeah, Cyrus is actually kind of.
completely off the chain.
Literally was about to nuke the universe and recreate it. Like, what the fuck? That's OD. Almost won.
It let us have Arceus.
We captured God.
The distortion world?
The Distortion World, just
It had
the Battle
Frontier.
Tower, the Battle Frontier,
Battle Frontier
Heatran,
was banging.
just Heatran.
I like Starkman a lot. Still,
Dude.
too.
The Reggie Gig. Just slow start.
Garchomp.
Still-
Garchomp. Where's the theme? I need it. I need it right now. Give me Letterbrass in Virginia, dude.
What's in this? But yeah, Oh my god. Okay.
I also
Alright.
Nope,
really
it's
like-
happening. You can't stop it.
Oh my god, no.
Can I-
When are we
please,
doing this
please,
again?
please. I
You
really
can't
like-
stop it. Garchomp is here. The Sinbad of Pokemon. Hello. How are
Oh
you?
no.
I can't believe you've done this.
Okay.
Alright,
We're
we're
joking.
good.
Now we're
That's
like for real.
platinum. Platinum is
For real, I've always liked Gen 4 sound font. It's very like, I don't know. Hard to
It's
describe it.
honestly
It's very-
okay.
It's very Pokemon.
This is very like off on a tangent a little bit, but I don't like Fire Red Leaf Green sound front.
Is it just Gen 3?
See, you would think so, but it's different. It's different from Gen 3 because
Yeah,
like
it's very different from
They took away the trumpets.
they took away a lot of the okay, yeah,
Trumpets,
sure,
McClappin.
but like for some reason like the Gen 3 sound font is different from Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald to Fire Red and Leaf Green. They use different like key instruments. And I think that's what really sets it apart because I don't like the key instruments in Fire Red and Leaf Green.
Hmm.
They use this like almost like a banjo sounding thing. I just don't like it.
Yeah, they use this bootleg electric
True.
guitar.
kind of weird, isn't it? Strange, isn't it?
You might know everything I'm going to do, but that's not going to stop me because I know everything you're going to
You're
do.
going to do.
Strange,
isn't
Yeah. Platinum is sick.
Platinum is so good.
Speaking of platinum games,
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-bim.
Get Antron.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Perfect segue.
No.
Perfect segue.
Yeah.
oh my god, I called it.
Coming with a 97 out of 100. I
Oh,
love
dude.
this game.
It's so
Punch
good.
stuff.
It's
Now you
so
punch it
good.
hard.
It's actually so good. It's so well designed. I need a picture. Where is the. What the fuck? Man.
No,
Are you
not
serious,
the
guys? Come on.
Bayonetta flashback. I'm having flashback.
Nothing flashbacks.
I'm sorry. I
Hey,
can't
you hear that? That's your Meta Knight dying right there.
You can't
It's
escape
getting
both.
laddered. You can't escape.
Can't
Your
escape
form
both
is
ways.
dead.
It's not Bayonetta's fault that she's broken.
She doesn't
Blame
even know
Sakura.
who Meta Knight is.
Kind of is. Because
Oh, another
It was based
angel.
on her game.
What's the
What's
first
the
one?
missed one?
Bro, when I didn't, cause like I think like when I was watching the trailer. By the way, if we were VCing during that direct, y'all would be deaf right now.
Yeah, I was
But
not. I was.
You
We
would,
were
y'all
not
would
there.
actually be deaf. But I think I didn't even hear the Bayonetta line because like I think my mom called me or something, and then I plugged my earphones back in and I saw the bats, and I actually like felt myself go lightheaded. Because before the trailer, like in the weeks leading up to the final direct, I was legit having dreamed of this shit. Like the forward air, like the 1-2-3 hit, I literally had a dream about that.
Oh,
and that
shit.
was her forward air. And then
A
I saw
vision.
it, and I was like, is this even real? Like it was so nuts to watch. But anyway, that's not even the game. The game is sick.
must be nice to have the character you want in Smash.
You have Meta Knight.
Hey,
I'm with
Incineroar.
my actor, like I didn't really.
It's okay.
I don't have anybody.
You're, neither do I. Well, no, I lie. I really
You
Ganondorf.
You got a whole fighter's pass coming. There's still hope.
Yeah, sure. If it doesn't get fucking delayed.
Shadow isn't. He's dead.
Put Tidus gets in the game, but he only has 2.
It's
stats.
not. Tidus will never be in Smash. What are you talking about?
Mm.
Gino, if
Thanks.
anything.
But anyway, back to Bayonetta.
I kind of went over like the entire atmosphere of the game when I talked about her on the character list. With super upbeat, super bombastic. She's a sick character, pretty well written. Combat is incredible. This Platinum Games is god.
Platinum Games makes god tier combat.
Yeah, that's about it. I do. Well, I'll save that for later. But yeah, this game is sick. Enough of this song.
Alright, I got it.
Yeah,
The
you go-
shadow
How are you?
remains.
Is that all you had to say about this?
Yeah, let
Do you want? We need to get
Um,
through all the other stuff, don't we?
me.
I don't know how.
I need to find the right
tangents
song.
for like.
Plus, there's still Bayonetta 2.
There's still
Oh god,
there's
that's
still
right.
Bayonetta too.
Oh no. More Bayonetta.
All right, boys, get your nostalgia goggles on. We're going back. We're going back a
Where?
few years.
Ah,
Going back a few years. This
just
is
a
not
few?
the best game of the series, as I've already stated.
Muh,
But
muh.
oh my god, you want to talk about content?
oh
This
yeah.
game is
Let me
huge.
tell you something about
This
content.
game is huge, and it's just super good remake.
Mind you,
I
base
lo-
game was huge as fuck, and then they like
Avatar.
Oh my god, I love this song. I love this soundtrack. Just the atmosphere of this entire region. Hard Gold. I have like over 500 hours in that game. This Hard Gold is I have
Pretty
so
sure
many
Angel
good
doesn't want
memories.
to touch Hard Gold ever again because of the Pokemon flood.
Nah, that won't stop him.
mind you, this game has everything.
Has everything. to
They
it.
added more content to a game that already had more. They improved everything. They have an ability to literally let you change the soundtrack back to the old one to a degree.
Obviously, only for
Insane.
songs that were actually in the original.
Every single Pokemon in the game can follow you and you can interact with it.
Ah, yes, that no other game's done that since. Like to that.
Insane.
They
complete
tried to
degree.
do it with Pokemonemy,
No,
but
just
it's
didn't
not
do
the
it.
same.
As much as I rag on turn-based RPGs, like the sheer content of Pokemon, the amount of Pokemon that exist, and just like the combinations you can do, the freedom of the gameplay, and plus the PvP aspect that actually exists in Pokemon, for one, that just puts it head and shoulders above like every other turn-based RPG for me, easily. And plus nostalgia. I'm sad. I'm really sad about the direction the series has gone, but I'll
Well,
always
that's what Insurgents is for.
these three right here in S tier. These are just mwah, chef's kiss. Amazing.
Chef's
Chef's
kiss.
It's beautiful.
Legendary.
Voltorb flip.
Yeah. I'm sure Angel loves all three of these games more than me, actually. But yeah, they're
Probably,
all
yeah.
in my S tier. Yeah, that's Hard Gold. Okay. What song do I, want?
I like this song.
What song do I want? What song do I want? Let's play. Oh, let's play this. I have two songs for this game actually. We're gonna.
Wow.
I'll let you know when I want to play the second one. I'll talk about this game for a little bit. This is a bit of a hot take. I don't think anyone I know or anyone I've seen likes this. No, I know one YouTuber that likes this game as much as I do.
Well, actually, I want to know what the game is.
But for most people, for the vast majority of people, there is no way in hell they would put KH3 in the top 5.
Oh wow.
Yeah, this game kind of sucks. On release, this game had so many issues on release. Holy crap! So, we'll talk about the bad first. The gameplay, right? It had these slow ass combo starters, these slow ass finishers. It took
Insta
like
death from off screen.
yeah, the Sora didn't have a lot of crowd control at all. It was just like the mobs were badly balanced, the bosses were kind of whack, and then to deal with that, Osaka team did not follow the example of Kingdom Hearts 2. You know Osaka, you know the command deck from the mobile games, right? Or like the handheld games.
Uh-huh.
Osaka team wanted to
Like-
put that in Kingdom Hearts 3 instead of putting back like the Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 MP system. And Nomura had to tell them no. Just
Don't
make it
stop.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. He like hard saved KH3 with that. Is that would have just been stupid. Yeah, this game had a
You have
lot of issues.
mysterious figure dodging for all the data battles.
Yeah, some of the bosses were just like badly designed, especially like Lump of Horror, like the skull boss in Arendelle, just like some really
All of
fucking-
Arendelle.
Also,
all of
literally
Arendelle sucked.
no Final Fantasy character.
Yeah, no Final Fantasy at all. It's just super freaking
Literally
weird.
just
No Sephiroth fight.
relegated.
I
Rele-
can't
Still no
believe,
Sephiroth fight.
can't believe.
Well, you
Imagine
know,
like
we-
this, like this. Oh my god! Especially with like the remake out and all this other stuff to like draw on. A KH3 Sephiroth fight would be insane. But anyway, there's just like it was super weird, and like the worst part about this game is a Kingdom Hearts game. It's it followed the Kingdom Hearts formula, but because of what the series turned into, it didn't work out. With Kingdom Hearts 1, you had like the entire game Sora and Riku trying to find Kairi, Riku using his own methods. They're basically like gallivanting through the Disney worlds, and then the plot ramps up at the end when you find out, oh my god, Ansem, the researcher dude, and like everything goes to shit at the end. Like everything, it's a late gamer. It's like a late game type of game.
It's
when
an
it comes to
end
story.
game.
Kingdom Hearts 2, the same thing. The Hollow Bastion midpoint segment is phenomenal. We'll talk about that when we get to Kingdom Hearts 2, don't
God.
worry. But the plot really ramps up at the end too. That's kind of like Nomura style with the Kingdom Hearts games. You just kind of like have a kind of a chill game going through the Disney worlds, and then bam, the end, you get hit with the plot. Kingdom Hearts 3, it did the exact same thing, except one, it didn't follow the Kingdom Hearts 2 example of having the Hollow Bastion midpoint to kind of flesh things out and have like a little break with the pacing. And two, there are so many subplots to resolve compared to
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. You
Yeah,
had like
There's
Disney
just
World
like
is
way
filler.
too much. There's
there's too much to
many,
do.
like,
You had Aqua coming back. You had to save Terra. You had to save Ven. You had like the Axel and Isis relationship. You had to save Roxas. You had to
Shion.
save Shion. You had to take on Xehanort. You needed the closer with Riku and Ansem. You needed closure with Xemnas. So it was way too much to pack into the end of the game like they did with Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 and basically every single Kingdom Hearts game. And just Nomura didn't plan for that. He didn't adapt the Kingdom Hearts structure to like accommodate all of those subplots, and so the game suffered for it. That was just. I wasn't disappointed with the game on release because I know Nomura right now by now. I knew he was gonna fuck it up, so I kind of like tapered my expectations before the game
it's just
came out.
because
So
like this game has been hyped up for literally a decade.
13 years, actually.
Yeah.
13, more than a decade.
on some Final Fantasy 15 type shit.
And then it comes out like this,
Yeah.
and it's just like it's incredibly
Underwhelming.
Yeah.
But
the base game is kind of whack. I still had a lot of fun with it because I love the Kingdom Hearts gameplay. Just like even the I kind of rip on the handheld games because they're not as good as Kingdom Hearts 2, no sir, but they're still pretty fun.
no, sir.
Oh my god, Dream Drop Distance. Oh, if I had
Dude,
more
you
time,
said
I would have
you-
talked about. I
What
would have
about a
talked
second-
Dude,
about.
you said you-
3D.
You said you would talk about 3D when after Cage 2, just because you wanted to talk about how much you hated it. So I want to
Yeah.
hear.
If we have time, because
Okay.
if you Recoded is a decent game. It's okay. All right. Yeah. So Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, and I this is the score I give for the base game because it was. I think it was good. I think it was a good game. Extremely fucking flawed, but I think all in all, it was a good game. And you notice I kind of rate my games kind of high because I rate this kind of based on how I judge myself in school, I guess. Because if I got anything under like 85, I was kind of pissed. So that's just me.
College,
My
college
scores are
kinda-
like inflated.
Yeah.
So yeah.
College changed that around
Okay,
for
stop
me.
the-
So like,
The sole reason it's 85 plays literally the Frozen segment where you have to listen to.
Fuck Frozen. Yeah, that world was shit. So all right. We complained. The community complained about several things about the game. Sorry, holy shit. Give me a second.
Yeah, you've been talking for a little bit.
yeah, I also
Get
think
a
I'll
drink.
drink some water.
All right, we're good. So
I'll try.
the community complained. Said the combat was a little too slow. The Keyblade Graveyard was not fleshed out. Why can't we play as the other Guardians for like extended periods of time? Why are we playing as Sora all the time? So the gods over at Osaka, I can't believe I'm calling them gods now because they made Birth by Sleep. They made Dream Drop
Literally,
Distance.
Aww.
Birth by sleep.
Oh, you know what they did?
Birth by shit.
In this age of devs just like going completely against the player base's wishes and just like mucking everything up, the legends over at Osaka team, you know what they did? They listened like actual human beings, and they said, you know what? Let's drop a DLC. Let's give this game. First of all, they gave the game a free update that fixed the combat. It wasn't the DLC that fixed the combat. It was a free update. The DLC added like the secret boss
Super
and all
bosses.
super bosses, right? So they came to the community one day. They said, "Yo," we said, "What's up?" They were like, "Yo, I heard you didn't like this, this, and this," and we were like, "Yeah," and they were like, "Okay, hold my tea real quick. Just sit tight. We got you." Then they came back a couple months later. They said, "Watch this." Oh, I lost it. Hang on a sec. And we got this super freaking good DLC pack that no one saw coming. Like we didn't think this was coming at all. First of all, we got like the story editions with the Remind, like the like playing as Ruckus and Aqua and all that. That was cool.
This,
It was
this is
decent.
essentially like a final mix.
This was the fix.
What is
This was the final mix. And
Final fix.
The
Final
final
fix.
fix.
This has always been the case with Kingdom Hearts 2, with Kingdom Hearts main games. The thing was, we didn't think this was going to happen because we figured it's been a year. Stop teasing us with the final mix
Plus,
bullshit.
they said no final mix.
Yeah, and they ended up. It's basically a final mix. It cost $30 extra. Like, come on, dude. Kingdom Hearts 2 was like this too. Like, I'm pretty sure base Kingdom Hearts 2, it didn't have Combo Master. I don't think it did. It didn't have the data org.
I
it
know
didn't have-
something about roll wasn't there either.
Yeah, it didn't even have dodge roll, dude. It was a much worse game, gameplay wise. It was much worse.
Right, that's
So,
why I didn't like
yeah,
it as
Kingdom-
much.
Kingdom Hearts 2 3 basically came through with the final mix, and holy crap! Because story stuff aside, even the super bosses, phenomenal. Best bosses in the entire series design wise. I'll talk about like them, like Kingdom Hearts 3 gameplay in Kingdom compared to Kingdom Hearts 2 when we get to Kingdom Hearts 2. But Kingdom Hearts 3, the bosses are better than the Kingdom Hearts 2 bosses. If you look at the boss design, they're easily the best bosses in the series. Yozora is like probably the best designed video game boss I've ever fought. Period. As cheap as the fight looks, it's super consistent once you do learn it. It's super rewarding to learn how to deal with all of his moves. He's just this super fucking sick fight. Just they added like 5 abilities, and you know what they did? So like the abilities are the combo modifications, right? They're straight up Kingdom Hearts 2 final mix abilities. They were like, all right, you know what, we hear you freaking 2FM fans, we'll just give you the Cage 2 combos back. And you know what it did? It made the game better. No fucking shit. They just updated it with Cage 3 graphics, but like a lot of the combo mods, they play exactly like the their Cage 2 versions, and it just made the game so much better. Sora got way better to play. Base Sora basically became like a dry form. It felt like playing a dry form when it first came out. It was incredible.
Now, I
Yeah.
do want to say one thing, and this is kind of like my problem with Kingdom Hearts is that, like, I mean, people praise the super bosses to high heaven because of how fun they are to fight, but like, I don't think that's really how you should base the entire games around, because I mean, at that point, you might as well just make Kingdom Hearts games, but it's just the super
Oh, yeah.
bosses.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like Kingdom Hearts 3 is weak because, for one thing, like the main game is just like super easy because you have way too much you can do at any given point in time.
Exactly.
It is not weak.
And of course, the super bosses might be good, but like that's not the entire game.
Yeah.
So that's what holds it back a lot for me.
Yeah, like
Just like on my own inspection, but I'll have to play it through myself and.
100%. You know what the worst part is? Even after the DLC, you don't get the combo modifications until after you beat the game. They're not woven into like Sora's leveling up during the base game, which
I mean,
makes no
even-
sense to me. That's I don't like that at all. I don't get why they did that.
I mean, even he'd probably be like way too broken at that point because like the game
No,
was
he's-
already.
He,
I mean, the main complaint I've heard about the game is that it's too easy.
I'll explain why it's too easy when we compare it to Cage 2, but yeah, that's Kingdom Hearts 3. Again, super flawed. I recognize that. I think Remind it improved the game immensely, just like Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix did for 2. But yeah, I like it a lot. It was Kingdom Hearts 3. Okay. Oh my god. Let me get this song. That staff roll. Dude, every time I like listen to this song, I like have to fight back crying. Jeez. Okay. What is this? Number 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
You okay, dude?
Okay, I got a feeling. Yep.
Oh yeah. Kingdom
Da,
Hearts.
da, da,
da,
da,
Dude,
Dude,
I
This is
already know what the
100
top
good.
3 are now.
This is 100. This there's no this. Oh my god! So, for context, right? I can. This is the first real video game I played. Before this,
Really?
I had Wii Sports
Wii
and a
Sports.
Hey,
freaking.
don't you be.
I had Wii Sports and this. You remember the movie Ant Bully? That old ass movie, that cartoon. Yeah, I had the video game for that. Those don't count. This was basically the first video game I played and beat. This was my introduction to video games. Like, what a first impression!
Yeah,
Basically, probably the best Mario game ever. I said like Super Mario Galaxy 2 is a 99 out of 100, right? And I said it's superior to the first one in gameplay, which I do believe, because like Yoshi, it's like there's like almost nothing that the first one does worse, right? But I've been trying to justify this to myself for years why I prefer the first. I really thought it was just nostalgia, but I thought about it more and it's like no, it's not, because look at the title of the game, right? It's Super Mario Galaxy.
Yeah.
After you remember like the opening of Galaxy 1 where like Kamek like blasts Mario away and he wakes up on this empty planet in the middle of space, right? There's this
just
shot.
like Bowser's Raid in general.
Yeah. Yeah, there's this shot when he wakes up on the planet and he like meets the little white bunny out in space, and like the camera zooms out and it's just Mario on this planet in the vastness of space. And that's like that shot right there basically encapsulates the entire theme of the game. Because whereas Galaxy has a lot of levels that they look like Sunshine levels, they look like 64 levels. Yes, they have like the gravity mechanics, they have the Super Mario Galaxy mechanics, but the atmosphere of the game is not the same. It doesn't really feel like a Galaxy game because a lot of them they're under like normal skies. They have like this super upbeat music that's more like typical of Mario games. But Galaxy 1, it was like super ambitious because number one, they never thought that our orchestral music was gonna work for our Mario game. They were reluctant to do that. And two, the feel you get from listen to this song right here, dog. Freaking the feel that you get from the Galaxy 1 soundtrack is way more grandiose and just like less. I would say it's like it feels more mature than Galaxy 2, and it's appropriate because
Yeah.
number one, a lot of the Galaxy 1 levels, they're straight up just in space. There's no like sky above you. It feels like you're in space for the majority of the level. And two, it's beautiful because the entire game there is this juxtaposition between like the empty vastness of space and just like how cold and just huge it is, and these super personal and tight-knit spaces that are scattered in that empty space. So you have the observatories, you have like Rosalina's spaceship in general, you have like these super nice looking areas within space in the levels, and those two extremes are just like pitted against each other for the entire game, and they play off each other so well and they enhance each other for the entire game. And it's I don't think that beauty was replicated in Galaxy 2.
Yeah,
That's why I put Galaxy 1.
Actually, yeah. So like, even down to like the title, Mario Galaxy 2 just feels a lot more hollow, in my opinion. It feels like it's just a sequel. Because like, I mean, think about Galaxy 1, right? Like Galaxy 1 has Rosalina's entire backstory, and like you get to learn about that and all that. You have the Comet Observatory. You have the Comet Observatory, and you get to like slowly work your way up to the Comet Observatory. Oh my god! You get to work your way up the observatory, right? But like in Galaxy 2, you just have like the friggin' Mario head.
Mario head.
And Lubba. Like
nothing compares to Rosalina. Like,
Rosalina doesn't even like show up until like the end. I'm pretty sure.
Just like speaking about go ahead.
It just feels more hollow in it, and it's like, of course, it might have play better and have better concepts, but like even as a kid when I played through that game, I didn't really feel the same sense of wonder that I felt from Mario Galaxy 1, because it's just a sequel. Like it's kind of just like cashing in off of what made Galaxy 1 great. But what made Galaxy 1 great in the first place is because it did something that had never been done before, right?
Yeah, 100%. And I hate using I hate just using like the good old it didn't capture the magic of the first blah 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 blah. So I'm glad I've gotten to a point where I can like completely explain why I prefer Galaxy 1. But it's just like even like with the Comet Observatory, like right, you get to the final level at the top of the observatory, you're like, okay, this is the end. This is where all the serious stuff is. We're about to get hype. Like the final level of Bayonetta, you're basically about to fight God. the final level of Metal Gear Rising, you're in like a fiery pit versus like big buff Donald Trump. Right? It's always some serious
Machine
shit.
Sun.
And then you get to the final level of like the final observatory of Galaxy 1, and it's this garden with no music, and it's just like the most peaceful area in the game. It's like it's the most extreme example of what I was talking about earlier with like the vastness of space versus these super homey, these super warm areas that accentuate the vastness of space and vice versa.
Yeah, it's
this
like it's
game's
little things like that the Super Mario Galaxy 2 just doesn't do because it's like so streamlined and like soulless almost.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it has
Galaxy.
Yoshi in it, so no.
Yeah, but Yoshi's in it, so
And Flair doesn't like Yoshi.
Yeah.
All
but
right.
yeah, that's just like that's always how I viewed it, and I'm glad you kind of share that sentiment.
Galaxy 1 is just incredible. I love that game.
All right, Maka. Which one is it? Is it Melee, Kingdom Hearts, Pirata? What's the order?
What's the order? I love that I stand certain games so hard that everyone already knows. Yeah.
You already did this list once. I know it.
All right. Anyway.
Yeah, there it
Anyway,
is.
second
There
one.
it is.
If you notice,
Again.
yeah.
That's right. She's back to ruin your.
So if you notice, this game is a little lower rated than Bayo 1. Bayo's a 97, this is a 95. That's because I share this sentiment with a lot of high-level Bayonetta players. The gameplay for the first one is better designed.
Yes.
Bayonetta 2 has this problem where it is extremely stupendously, especially on the highest difficulty, centered around witch time. For a lot of enemies in the game, you can only stun them inside witch time. For Bayonetta 1, that wasn't the case. It was more focused on aggression. Bayonetta 2, it feels more like Smash 4, where you're kind of like just dancing around the enemies until boom,
Oh,
witch
so
time.
that's how she got in the game.
Oh my god! Until you finally combo them in witch time, and that's like it's a lot less fun to play for a lot of people. But I prefer the gameplay for the second one. I recognize that the first one is better designed. There's more freedom for like doing cool stuff and combos and like what Bayonetta is known for. But just Bayonetta 2, Bayonetta's faster for one. She controls cleaner. Frame rate's better. There's less like motion blur and stuff. The QTEs, the dumb QTEs that were in the first game are gone. And also Tag Climax, whooping people online is amazing. When the third one comes out and online is back, and I get to deal with all of the new people that never played the series before, we are gonna collapse some cheats, some free clout. Anyway, yeah, it's been.
Weren't you like
Like,
ranked in Bayonetta 2 online? Like 10?
Hmm?
Like top 10 in the world or something?
I was like top 1% at one point. I don't know about top 10.
Holy crap!
But it was like something
So
like
that's
that.
pretty good.
Somebody
Yeah.
likes
The only
Bayonetta.
problem about this game is that it's on the Wii.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's sick.
It's okay. It's okay. They put it on the Switch.
Yeah, I'm sick. Also, she's hot as fuck. Alright, that's it.
Oh my
Also, she's hot as fuck. I mean,
Um,
he's not wrong.
Alright, so that's it for the S tier.
Yep.
I'll go like
Yes.
S plus tier or something.
S plus tier has 3 games.
No, 2.
Also,
Melee.
Melee's in his own tier.
Melee.
When's Melee?
these two
When's
games. No, actually no. You'll get it once the S plus tier is done. But these two games, I put like 2 and 1, but they're basically joint tied for number 1 spot because I love them for very different reasons. But I just at this point in my life, like right now, this is kind of how I feel about them. So let me get a song. Yeah, this extension is long enough. So put this right here.
Do, 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 do.
Wait, what? Oh, that's Um,
Do,
there you
do, do,
Number
do, 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 do.
nah, number 2. Stage 2.
Final
Max.
Max.
Dude, you
Final
got the
mix.
name.
This is the big one.
Some of
90s
Overdrive.
Oh, yeah, Final Max.
Final
yeah, Kingdom Hearts
Max.
2. final mix specifically because, like I said, and it improved the game a lot, added a bunch of some abilities, added a lot of content. So finally, we get to talk about this game in combination with, in contrast to Kingdom Hearts 3. The biggest issue with Kingdom Hearts 3's combat is that it tried to do Kingdom Hearts 2, but it did it in the wrong way. The thing that makes Kingdom Hearts 2 so great, the two things that make Kingdom Hearts 2 what, in my opinion, the best designed single player game of all time, is of course there's like the low skill floor, high skill ceiling thing, right? Sora has access to a lot of different moves, a lot of different combinations of like abilities and shit that you can do, but you can only take advantage of like that insane stuff if you're super good at the game. So let me post something real quick. You can just like you can watch like the first 30 seconds of this. He like speedruns the boss. There's like text on the screen. So it's stuff like this that you can only do if you take the time to learn the game, to get like Sora's muscle memory in the game, like Sora's muscle memory in you, and just like super like learn the combat system. Because all the bosses, they're like super intricate. They have like a bunch of different ways of dealing with them, and like the big thing is that you can only do this kind of stuff if you're super good, right? And that's what makes KH2 great, because you have to just really learn the combat system. It takes a lot of doing. Like speedruns of this game are just super impressive to watch, just because of the time and effort that goes into just like being good with Sora. Kingdom Hearts 3, Sora also has a bunch of stuff at his disposal, but he has it pretty much everything from the get-go, and the options that he's presented with, they take like no skill to use. So you have limits that do a bunch of damage that are just basically one button press. You have magic that's completely broken that requires just a couple button presses. You have like combos that are decent. You have you have a Koopa coin. You just have a bunch of resources that don't require the skill that the Kingdom Hearts 2 resources like take to use, and that's why the game is super easy. Kingdom Hearts 2 is hard because like you need to, like I said, I've said it like 3 times by now, but you need to be good to destroy the bosses and like just the battles like this dude did right here. That's what made KH2 really, really good. And even aside from combat, this might be a hot take, but I've thought it over, and I've gotten to the point where aside from Disney inclusion, I don't think there's anything Kingdom Hearts 1 did better than Kingdom Hearts 2. If you think about Kingdom Hearts 1, Disney inclusion, obviously, it's king. Like they were basically like central to the plot, right? But if you think about actual story structure and like characters, Sora had like a coming of age journey in Kingdom Hearts 1, right? Cool. The Kingdom like coming of age stories, like the growing up stories, they've been done, right? But the nuance of Kingdom Hearts 2 Sora's character is, I don't think it's replicated anywhere else in the series, because for the entire game, he's like big angry, mad Sora, kind of. He's kind of a dick to like the entire organization. But like by the end of the game, you find out that it's because Roxas's emotions have been bleeding through him for the entire game. That's why he cries when he leaves Twilight Town and he leaves Roxas's friends. That's why he's like super pissed at the organization. Even like in the final confrontation versus Xemnas, when Xemnas has his like, "Why are you afraid of the dark?" speech, Riku and Mickey at least try to engage Xemnas and like explain their ideologies. Sora literally says, "Screw
Lol,
you,
you guys got no heart.
You're nobodies. You don't even exist." Like he's literally racist in that game, dog. Like, he's like kind of a dick. It's not Sora, because like I've said this before, but you only really see Sora in like Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 3, because Dream Drop Distance was a terrible mischaracterization, because that game is trash. Kingdom Hearts
Oopsie daisy.
okay, Chain of Memories, his memories were getting screwed with, so that's not really Sora. Kingdom Hearts 2, it's basically like half Sora, half Roxas, so you only ever really see the real Sora in like 1 and 3, at least in my opinion. But like I really appreciate how like KH2 Sora was written. And then like Xemnas, obviously probably the best villain in the series, specifically Kingdom Hearts 2 Xemnas until Dream Drop Distance.
Baby.
I hate that game. I hated it so freaking bad. Holy crap.
Why won't it vanish?
Christ. But yeah, Kingdom Hearts 2 Xemnas was awesome. Again, he's a tragic villain, because we've already gone over Xemnas. Is because he's bound by like, even though he has no emotions, even though the organization has no emotions, even though they're like highly functioning nobodies, they're still bound by this primal desire to become human. And Xemnas literally lacks the empathy to care about all of the harm he's doing to the world because he's trapped in this need to become human. So he has no choice but to do the things he's doing. I always thought that was really
Until
interesting.
Dream dropped it.
But yeah,
Oh
and this
my
is
God.
cool. Axel is cool. I could go on about this game for hours, but yeah, Kingdom Hearts 2, this game is
I actually
incredible.
I'll probably be streaming this game soonish.
Soon.
So I'll see like how the game,
We'll
how I
talk.
feel about the game now compared
Yeah.
to back then.
Yeah.
Story's still dumb as hell though, just for the entire franchise. Like, god damn it. But I mean, it's fun to play, so yeah.
Definitely, definitely gameplay driven more than story driven. Even though they try to make it more story driven.
Yeah, easily. So number one, I'm gonna need everybody to do me a favor.
Yes, sir.
What's up?
Do not go into Flair. When you skip a song, it doesn't tell you the title of the song, right?
It does. Let me see. No, it doesn't.
It-
No,
Okay.
Only in the VC though, doesn't it?
just don't go into
Or
bot
like
spam.
in the bot spam chat.
Yeah. So do not go into bot spam because the title for this song it's not in and of itself a gargantuan spoiler, but if you know, like, you probably know what game it is by now. If you know anything about the game at all, you can probably like infer what's going on with the title. So let me grab the song real quick.
I'm kind of confused, but
Just let it go.
Just don't freaking just.
okay,
What the fuck? They got
I'm waiting.
taken down. Hold on. Oh no! Oh no! Don't do this. Oh no!
Oh
Don't
no,
do
bro.
this.
Oh no, bro.
Ah,
Oh no.
Ah shit! Hang on.
Oh no.
Wait, I think I messed up. Ah, there it is. Nice. So just
Nice.
do not go into bot spam.
I'm not looking. I'm not looking.
Not looking. I'm not looking. Okay. This is the only other perfect score.
Oh
on the
shit!
list.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
wow.
right. Hello.
I'm-
Duh.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I know, play Near Automata.
I not necessarily because as one, I'm not gonna hype this game up because I would rather anyone's experience with this game be as close to mine. I wouldn't even recommend you to stream it unless you really care, unless you don't really care, because I just prefer you to just like go at your own pace, just get engrossed into the game as much as you want to. This game is not for everybody. Like, I don't think I would recommend this to Flair. I'd probably recommend it to
I have
Apple
it, and I
X.
have played
Yeah.
a decent like
Okay.
amount of hours of it, so I will get
Okay.
back
You
on
need to
it.
get it now.
Okay.
How much? It's like a full
Um,
price game though, isn't it? It's like I'll have to wait till it's
Yeah, I
like
think
sale
so.
or
Maybe.
I just need to
the,
continue playing it.
I think the Game of the Year edition is like $40.
Ooh,
Last time I
okay.
checked. I wouldn't recommend it to Neon, but yeah, it's not for everybody. It's you may or may not want to read up in your philosophy a little bit before you get the game. Maybe.
But memes are my philosophy.
Then you're fine. Yeah,
The DNA
unless
of the soul.
I spent a lot of time on Google after finishing this game, but still, just I will never forget this experience as long as I live. Fucking yeah. I'm not gonna hype it up too much.
Yeah, I
'cause
figured.
This game is something
That's
you have to
actually really
experience.
interesting.
Yeah.
This is a
I
game.
kinda need
This
to-
is-
I
it's-
need
it's
to play
a-
this game again. I need to get back on it. I'm probably gonna do like a fresh restart.
It's you need patience. It's a slow burn. You're not gonna get it at first, but when stuff starts hitting you, it'll come to you.
Reminds me of
It's-
Steins Gate.
Yeah, this is a game. Fantastic
Gamer.
soundtrack. Holy shit. Like, just one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard. Alright, that's the
It's in
That's the
Best
list.
Plus.
that's the list. That's
What
the
about
list.
Melee?
Yeah,
Yeah,
come on.
42.
What about Melee?
Anyway,
My
okay,
God.
stop the song.
Can I stop the song?
Mhm.
Sure.
Alright.
Time for M tier. D tier.
Alright.
That works.
Z.
Talking about
Oh,
Fighter.
Oh no, it's not Melee first. We gotta talk about Smash 4 first.
Alright, hang on. So what do we got? We got this. We got this.
Omega.
Omega,
Omega.
We got
Alpha.
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 All right.
These are
There's
all
3
like
Smash games left. They're all Smash
boy.
games. They're all
Oh, boy.
Smash
Oh my god,
games.
Project
so
M.
I can't. No, Project M. That's not. That's not fair.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I
Also,
can't.
Ultimate
Brawl
Ryu
minus.
and Melee.
Brawl minus.
can't.
Oh,
When I would have put Project M on, that's my favorite Smash game. Period. But like, it was like built off of Brawl and kind of it's not like Insurgents where it's like its own thing from the ground up. Obviously, it's kind of it's a mod. As much as we love it, it's a
So
mod.
that leaves Melee.
Ultimate and
Melee,
Ryu.
Melee 4 and Ultimate. You can probably guess what the order is.
Rep 60.
Ultimate
Let me
4
guess.
Melee.
Ultimate. No,
Can't
Or is it
I?
for
You
Ultimate
can't.
Melee?
for Ultimate Melee.
No,
You-
Ultimate.
you-
No,
I-
Ultimate 4 Melee.
I can't rank this series, dude. I've put way too
Yeah.
much time. Just that I
Then-
can't. There's no way I can rank this series with
Then
the
place
rest.
the stuff.
I can
All
respect
right.
that.
Music.
Whoa, 4 first? Alright.
Four
Melee, I knew it.
first.
Yes, for Ultimate Melee, I knew it.
Oh,
Because
Jesus
everyone's here in
Christ.
the in Ultimate.
Forwards first. This game gets a lot. The only reason this game gets a lot of flack now is because Ultimate's out. Let's be real. And
Because
Bayonetta.
Bayonetta.
I mean, even before Ultimate came out, like I had a lot of issues from this game just because I played it a lot competitively and like
That's just a competitive thing, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean
Hey,
like
ask-
well,
ask
I
Iron-
don't know, like Smash 4 for 3DS and Wii U just felt very bare bones of a
Ask
game.
Iron.
Friggin' like Smash Tour, like what kind of mode was that? What were they thinking?
Smash Tour, like Smash,
Smash Run was at least a little better, but even then, like it's very
It's city
you'll play it a
trial.
few times and then just like
City
forget
trial.
about it. At least World of Light offers like a decent amount of a time sink, but like these
Yo,
those
I'm-
two modes are just like very.
I'm not gonna hold you. I think I played Smash Tour more than I played World of Light.
You played Smash Tour like the board
What?
game,
Yeah.
the board game thing.
Yes, I
Well,
think
I
I
mean, World of Light's a
I
board
think
game.
I've mainly because Smash 4 came out in college and we played that in college.
Okay.
So
All right.
World of Light came out and I was already heavily invested in the Smash competitive scene, so I never fucked with World of Light.
Oh.
So that was my
So
knew that I was not going to be interested in World of Light like after the first couple like weeks or so, or like first week. So I just rushed it, completed it, never touched it again.
That's true. I mean, like even for the other modes, like in Smash 4, they're kind of like similar in that regard. Like you play them a few times and then just not really touch them ever again, if you're not like a completion.
But anyway,
But-
this game actually did add a lot of new stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, it
besides
removes tripping.
besides competitive.
Cloud.
it added
Strife,
DLC
Cloud,
characters.
Strife. The best addition to any Smash game. I don't care. Cloud.
Excuse
Strife.
me,
It really
limit
made
camping.
It really made the
Even more than
impossible
Bayonetta.
happen.
Like on a personal level, Bayonetta, but like legit in the grand scheme of things, nothing
Cloud broke
compares
the
to
internet.
Cloud. Like, come on.
Cloud
no
actually
way.
broke the internet.
Cloud was fucking insane.
Nobody saw it coming because Square Enix.
His entry code was never thought I seized the day. They knew they were about to
Bamboozle a bunch of
everybody.
people.
This is nuts, dude.
It's crazy.
Then he was broken. We'll talk
Dude.
about that.
I pissed off my one. Well, no, I wouldn't consider him a friend with just by playing Cloud before winter break, and he never wanted to talk.
Oh no! Come on.
It's okay. He was a
man.
projectile spamming piece of shit. He deserved it.
Well, yeah.
He was
I
a
like-
Link main.
Oh shit. I have a
I
lot of
played
good
Ganondorf, and he just sat there.
Oh my god. That's
I
like,
explained
oh
so
god,
much.
you're screwed. Yeah, you're
A
done.
lot
dude.
of good memories with
Smash
this.
I
Poor
was
Ganondorf.
then Cloud.
Crazy fun.
Pocket
Very flawed
Cloud.
game. Again.
From the
just
free for
like
alls that we used to have to
Rage.
the 1v1
Rage.
and then the rage that we
Rage.
had, it was just
Bayonetta.
all great moments.
Bro, okay, Rage, this game looks so funny. I love watching people get Rage teased. That shit is hilarious. I know it's bad
so-
design, but it is so funny, bro.
Bro, like, oh my god.
Poor
Like,
Iron.
Fucking
nothing.
ZSX
Haha.
grabs Sheik at like 17% on Dreamland, and then she just
Ladder.
Don't get grabbed.
It's so stupid, dude. Oh my god.
Bowser grabbing you 4 times. You're dead.
Yeah.
Bowser using the Jedi Force.
Bowser's freaking giant hands that can
Max-
grab you across
Max
the
range
stage.
Ganondorf spiking you at 0.
Bowser practiced Marth's technique.
This game was
melee.
just like full of gimmick characters. Like, oh my god, there were so many gimmick characters in this game, dude. Like, they only did one thing, but they did it good enough that made them usable.
They brought Mewtwo back.
Yeah, that
It
was
was
pretty cool.
so
Oh my god, bro, when Mewtwo got revealed again, I think I almost shit my pants.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, your favorite
Alright.
Pokemon. Yeah, that's Smash 4. Nostalgia, and I think it's a decently
I mean,
designed
I do
game.
have,
Have
I
a
do
lot
have
of
a lot
issues.
of, I have a lot of connections about this game because I mean, obviously,
Ultimate.
I did competitive with it, but like playing competitive made me see like a lot of flaws this game had.
Well, yeah,
I
understand.
mean, I still like it. I still like it a
I
lot.
really wish they kept
Great.
perfect pivoting in Ultimate.
Hell yeah.
Perfect pivoting was so cool.
I didn't use it, but like I can understand like. why
Like,
people-
okay, and I made
use
this
it.
realization very recently, but comparing Ultimate's character like moving and like feeling for a character to Smash 4's, Smash 4 definitely handles character feel way better than Ultimate does. I feel like
Yeah.
sometimes I'm fighting against Ultimate to like use my character. And it doesn't feel
yeah.
fluid. It feels clunky.
Because
Yeah.
Ultimate, there's a lot of situations where you just can't fucking move, and it makes no
I
sense.
miss
However-
Ganon.
Well, go ahead.
I miss Ganondorf's up air from Smash 4.
Oh, that's it,
Good.
man. Yeah.
It's so slow in Ultimate.
Speaking of Ultimate,
Yeah, let's talk about a game that actually added so much.
Everyone
Everyone.
much
Stuff, everyone.
stuff.
hype I have ever been for a video game ever.
Same.
Etika was
I
hyped for
was
it too.
obsessed with this game. I watched like every single clip of it online pre-release.
Yeah.
I swear to God. It
Oh
was.
my-
The
I
hype cycle for
traveled
Ultimate
to
was
play the demo of this
incredible.
game while it was only out in certain areas. I traveled.
The wait for this game felt like an
An
eternity.
eternity. Jinx.
It was
Like,
it was
seriously.
really short compared to Smash 4, but it was just so it was nuts. Oh,
Crazy.
man.
So crazy, dude.
You got
When-
Ridley. No,
We
no,
got-
like before even all that, just like freaking everyone is here like that.
The Everyone is
One
Here trailer when
sentence.
Snake. I'm pretty sure when Snake got revealed again, I cried.
I cried. No,
I
I was-
actually
I
shed
was-
tears.
I was in VC with Iron and I cried.
I remember the very moment. I was in VC too, but I got disconnected, and I was still
Oh,
watching it.
fuck.
And I was doing deliveries at the when I was working, like in the middle of it. I had the stream open, just like trying to listen to stuff and everything, and I was freaking out. I was screaming in my car.
Hey, remember when Bayo laddered Ridley? Sakurai.
Yeah, Bale laddered a heavy, big character on a stage with a flat ceiling, being played by a melee player, and then everybody decided she was broken again, so Sakurai nerfed her again. Thanks. Thanks, Leo.
I really don't think Bayo needed to get nerfed again like that. I think it was fine, especially considering what we have now. Like Bayo needs a buff.
Yeah.
Like I kind of I really think Bayo needs something.
They already
in this
took
game.
Meta away from me. Just make Bayo good again. I don't care. I don't care anymore.
It's alright, you
Yeah,
have Incineroar now.
Yeah,
This
I
game's-
do.
Game's pretty sick. It's faster than Smash 4. I think overall I prefer the gameplay to Smash 4. The issues, as far as issues go, Ultimate, I think Smash 4 had character issues. Like the general design was okay, just like characters themselves had like weird design choices. Whereas the
Gimmicks.
issues with Ultimate are like game wide. So like the buffer issue, the shields being garbage, the rolls just like rolling on the stage not working sometimes just because like hitboxes are weird and it's just like the game is badly designed in some ways. Getting stuck on platforms for no reason, like sticky platforms. not being able to wave dash. What the actual fuck? You brought back directional air dodging. You hyped everybody up, but you just hate melee, so you didn't add wave dashing back. What are you doing? Stop.
A lot of that's on the competitive level, though.
Yes. Now, if we take a look at this game from a gameplay standpoint,
It's amazing.
like not gameplay standpoint, I should say, but from a game made standpoint,
Hey,
this
everything else is
game
that way.
is legendary.
Like, it's
Legendary.
insane.
Every single character has their own
Mario?
classic mode. Like, let's
Yeah.
just think about that for a second.
First of all, the amount of characters that are in this game is astronomical. You've never had another game, and you've never had another fighting game like this, besides maybe like the Tenkaichi series from Dragon Ball, where you've had this many characters, right? That's number one. Number two, 100 stages. 100
Like, bro,
stages.
what?
Number three, 1,000+ music tracks. Like,
It is a museum. It is a playable museum.
it is just.
It's literally
It's a
just like
test-
a monument
He
to
even
video
said
game
this was
history.
literally a testament to gaming.
This is a testament to gaming. Like, this is
Straight up.
literally as much as they could have done, and they're still adding more.
There's another fighter pass.
To think that there are 6 more characters coming.
It's like I think this is the first Smash game that feels like they recognize that Smash is the Hall of Fame. If you
Yeah.
get into Smash, you basically fucking made it. So it feels like it owns up to that legendary status.
It is Video Game Hall of Fame. Hall of
I
Game.
think Smash 4 started to
Yes.
embrace that towards like the end of its lifespan, like with the DLC.
Yeah, like
But then
bringing in
Smash
Ryu,
Ultimate just like completely
Cloud.
embraced it. I mean, like freaking the first. Well, I mean, okay, like Inkling was the first character, but like the second character after Inkling was freaking Ridley.
And he hits the big time.
Simon Belmont. At long last, we have Castlevania in Smash.
And then
If
K.
only he
K.
had
Rool coming
recovery
in.
at
Like,
lo-
despite me not liking K. Rool as much as everybody else does, I recognize the fact that this character has been very clamored for.
I didn't care about K. Rool, and then I heard that Gangplank Galleon remix, and I was immediately like the biggest fan.
All that shit just so the Nintendo ninjas wouldn't just take it down again.
No, bro, I think I screamed when Ridley got revealed. Like, I think I actually screamed.
Oh my god.
And then like when I heard like the Ridley remix for Smash Ultimate, and I don't think I could have gotten more erect, but like I did.
Dude,
Like, I don't think
I
sex
think
even
I
does
can
that to
one
you.
up you on that. I got so hyped that my leg started spasming. I literally had a bad muscle leg spasm
God,
because
and-
I got so
and-
excited.
And bro, when the game came out, Joker got revealed from Persona fucking 5.
Right before
Hey.
the game dropped, like, oh, you
Hey,
think we're done? We're done? We're not done.
Freaking Banjo got in.
Banjo
Like,
and
another, like,
Kazooie. We're getting an ARMS character, which is whatever.
Yeah.
Byleth is whatever. Terry!
Are you
Yeah.
okay?
Fatal Fury character? Like, whoa.
Oh, that was the second pick. He
And to
got that.
think
He
and to
deserved it.
think that after ARMS we still have 5 more characters that we don't even know where they're gonna be from. Like, we have no clue.
Please add Ryu Hayabusa.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
That'd
that'd
be
be
really
Ryu
cool.
would
That'd
be
be pretty
Ryu will be one of the best characters in the
Dante,
game.
Dante, please give us Dante.
Dante would be the best character
I
in the
am
game.
down with Dante.
Dante's gonna literally be Bayonetta.
RPG Twitch, give me my action game character, please, Sakurai, for the love of God. I need to get off this broken Arsene.
Ega!
Oh my god.
This song sounds like a Kingdom Hearts song now.
Alright, so drop the melee.
Alright, now.
Time
Oh
for
my
melee.
Oh my god, I'm ready.
Oh,
Alright, Maka, I'm ready. I'm ready. Bring it on, bro. I need to hear it. I need to hear it. You gotta play it. You have to play it.
What's it called?
You need it. It's the opening. It's the opening.
Oh no. We're not playing the opening yet.
What do you
what the fuck
mean?
is this? Hold on. Fuck. Yes, I'm sorry, guys. Wow, this song is only on SoundCloud. Thankfully, I'm pretty sure this bot plays
It's on
SoundCloud stuff. Okay.
SoundCloud. What?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
it's only on SoundCloud. We going the extra mile for the greatest game of all
so.
time.
Yeah,
Okay,
for
dude.
real, dude.
Oh, this game, this oh my god, this game.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Maybe
to
if
talk
you
about this
made
game.
Fox, Marth, Falco, Puff, or Sheik.
Brother, like,
this
Well,
this
I want to
game
play
is.
Luigi.
I want to play Ganondorf.
You can play Ganondorf, dude. The
Okay,
legend of
I can
the
play
game.
Ganondorf, you say. Tell that to every Sheik player out there that literally just prevents me from playing.
Well, there's tiers to it. It's a fighting game. You gotta deal with it. So the story of this game, it is a legend about triumph, about trials and tribulations, about tremendous people overcoming tremendous odds to achieve tremendous things. Just all around, right? It is the most beautiful accident of all time.
yep.
This game is literally immortal. Even with the world ending, you have some dude with a Roy beating up a bunch of top falcos and foxes for no reason because he's
Tell,
like incredibly freaking good.
tell that to
Um,
Evo.
yeah, I was gonna. Oh, we're gonna talk about Evo later. Don't worry. Freaking, just incredibly deep. 20 years after release, we're still finding out new stuff
New
somehow.
glitches.
Just absolutely. I stand gameplay. There is actually nothing like this game. There will never be anything else like this game, just ever. This is
PM
absolutely.
PM does a
it-
great job at trying to replicate it, but as of recently, you can't beat the feeling of Melee.
it's crazy, dude.
You gotta
I don't know. I mean, I know what it is, but just like it's. Oh,
You gotta own a copy.
God. It's actually so incredibly well made.
And this game has lore. Like,
What?
this competitive
And-
scene has
Oh.
lore.
Insane amounts of freaking lore. Dude.
Yeah,
This
the
game
gods.
high.
The
This
Five
game is
Gods
actually
era, the
freaking
Mewtwo
beautiful.
King era, the Mango era when he came
It's
into
literally
the
just
scene.
like pro wrestling, but with some
Armada,
video game.
Hungry Box now. And now we have the era of Leffen Zane and Plup and Axe and like the post gods. Like it's like we have story arcs.
It's
So
this game
what's
is
the Saiyan arc?
game is an anime.
The Saiyan arc would probably be the equivalent of like Azen and like fucking Ken.
Something like that.
All right.
Anyway, let me play the song. This is actually not a soundtrack from in-game. We'll play the in-game soundtrack later on. This was made by a dude, and this song was made, and it was played when this game was introduced and for its Evo top 8 appearance. The Evo this game went through like a funds race with Skullgirls to be like the final game at Evo. Shout out to Skullgirls, awesome game, awesome game. But Melee's better. I'm sorry.
Okay, dude. It's okay. It's okay.
Freaking game.
I'm
You'll get
fine.
back with your list.
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
Yeah, this game ended up winning it out. And then after they beat out Skullgirls, after they freaking earned their spot, Nintendo came in and said Evo can't stream this game. And then the backlash from that was so huge that hours later Nintendo backed down and ended up letting Evo stream the game.
Nintendo was like, okay, dude.
Nintendo they literally said
Okay, chill.
but this I had to play this song because like the community made this game. Like of course Sakurai made this game like kind of on accident, but this is now and forever the people's game. It will always be the people's game. Just easily, dude.
This game just has such like a weird, yet beautiful
So
history.
weird.
Honestly, like even the game's development was like rushed because they were on a time crunch. I forget the entire
You
story,
just
but like,
ended up with this.
yeah, like the game was made on a time crunch, and they had like 8 months, I think, to work on it, and that they still managed to like crank out
It's crazy.
just
I can't
More
believe they made the
characters, they
greatest
put
game of all
Ganondorf
time in
in.
8 months.
it's crazy.
They
Dude,
can't even
this is my-
get Bayonetta 3 out in 5 years.
Freaking good. This is my favorite game of all time. We're going further. This is the greatest goddamn game ever made. Just come on, man.
It's just melee, not even Super Smash Bros. At this point.
Listen, as soon as you see that word, melee, you know exactly what you're dealing with.
Like, where do we even start with this? There's so much.
From the beginning.
Well, we'll start from the beginning. Okay, we'll start from the beginning. Okay, we can play the actual melee OST now. Let's get this song out of here.
I got you.
Let's replace it. All right. Let's play this. Okay.
Let it play.
So, yeah, well, we can. I'll let down like get this on record why I love melee so much. Okay, so first of all, let's talk. This is all gameplay because melee, we don't got the story, we don't got the graphics, we don't really got the sound design. The soundtrack is amazing, but the sound design is not really there. It's kind of an older game. But you know what? It doesn't matter because we have the best gameplay of all time. So first of all, right, you got the wave dash, a mechanic that is so good and so well loved that other games have been made and marketed solely off of the fact that you can wave dash. There is a literal platformer in called Wave
Dash. Yeah, I have it. I have it on Steam.
That game is super freaking cool, and the appeal of the game is that you can wave dash in it. That's how good the mechanic is.
The game literally says, "Hey, wave dash," and guess what? That's the entire game. And guess what? It's super fun.
People buy it because it's so good. And that game, like the wave dashing is in 64, obviously, but it's nothing compared to the melee wave dash. The way you can freaking alter. You can alter the length of the wave dash. You like wave dash at different times. You can wave dash a little higher or lower to mix up your opponent. It lets you do like any option out of a wave dash. It gives that alone gives the melee like this identity that's completely different from the rest of the series, and just like adds a completely different layer of depth to the gameplay.
It's the greatest movement option ever made.
Flat out,
flat out,
absolutely nuts, dude.
And then you combine that with the other mechanics. You have L canceling, you have wave landing, you have shield dropping. There's so much tech that's in this game that it takes.
I'll say like right, just to like stop you right there, but L canceling, I mean, obviously it is tech, like you have to learn how to do it, but I feel like it's just sort of like a
really needed.
Yeah, it's kind of like a gatekeeper mechanic. Like you have to know how to do it, but like it doesn't like. Knowing how to L cancel doesn't really give you more options. It's just like something you need to know how to do. It's kind of like knowing how to do like
the game harder. Yeah.
That's not true. No, it does give you more options because there are some things in this game that are only accessible if you L cancel something previously.
That's not what I mean. I'm saying like if you removed L canceling and like made all the moves
work as if they were L canceled,
it would be the same. Like it would be the same essentially. But like if you removed wave dashing, you would lose. If you removed wave dashing, you would lose so much. So like if you removed L canceling, like it doesn't really like you don't lose as much. That's what I'm trying to say.
Basically
right,
the same game, but with one extra
in
input.
this way you get to press more buttons, and pressing more buttons is fun.
Yeah. Okay.
Low-key, I kind of agree. I like L canceling.
If like pressing a shit ton of buttons to do like intricate inputs, like who doesn't like that?
I just like having hands. That's all.
Yeah, but,
do you understand the input required to do a Fox wave moonwalk back air off of Battlefield? Do you understand how hard that is?
This game is so freaking deep. So about like combining it with other mechanics, let's get into that real quick. So there's been three main things I want to talk about. One, the wave dash. Two, the combo system. The combo
lose cancel.
Freestyle combo system.
And three, the DI system. Probably the most important one. So let's get into the combo system real quick. What this game does better than like any other game in the series, I think, is like the freedom of like range of movement and just the creativity that characters can do with their combos. Because for one, this game was made before Smash 4. I think Smash 4 was like the first one to really do this, where they started like super homogenizing the moves. So like and people started to notice, like only really notice now with Ultimate, that they're like kind of copy pasting moves with characters, which is like understandable now because like there's a bunch of characters you can only be so creative. But Melee had like
Forward smashes Ganondorf's forward smash.
Pretty much. But like Melee had like less characters and is like like earlier, so like, a lot of moves like are like super unique. So like it takes a lot of doing to learn one character, and then on top of that, because I don't even need to explain how nuts the combo system in Melee is, because there's so much hit stun, and there's just the characters are just able to do so much with their moves because of wave dashing combined with their moveset. It's just like the sky's literally the limit. So,
Or
one
the upper
issue
blast
that-
zone if you're Falco.
So, an issue that would come up with that if Melee was a lesser game, which it isn't, is that because characters have this incredible combo system and everybody can just do nutty stuff given like the right amount of skill, and when you get comboed, it just kind of turns into a one-player game, like a fighting game where you're just waiting for the opponent to mess up their combo, right? Except no, because Melee has an incredible freaking DI system that for whatever reason was not replicated in the subsequent games. What's good about Melee's DI system is that it's the like SDI and DI in Melee is so much better than like the rest of the Smash series. Brawl SDI, like about as good as Melee's. Maybe it's weird. Brawl SDI is kind of weird and you can kind of like pop out of combos. But the great thing about Melee DI and SDI is like, okay, if you're like a fox and you get shined by Falco on the right side of battlefield, right? VDI to the right, you kind of like pop up on top of the right platform, right? So assume you're like right under the right platform. If you SDI and DI to the left, you end up popping up like near the top platform of battlefield, right? And just that one decision changes the entire combo tree for the Falco. If they want to continue their combos, they have to like choose completely different options just to keep you in hit stun and keep you on the defensive and keep their advantage state. And just that level of just like intricacy, because it's not a one-player game. It's no matter who's getting comboed, it's always an interaction between like the player and the player getting comboed and the person doing the comboing. Because like one player is trying to keep the pressure on, the other player is trying to make the other player mess up by either like mixing up their DI or mixing up their SDI or something. Ultimate combos, Smash 4 combos, you can't really affect the combo in like any meaningful way most of the time. And most of the time it's only like
you have to take like 50%.
yeah, you're fucked. You're completely fucked. You can't really like get out of the combo or like do anything to affect the flow of the fight once you start getting combo. Melee, it's always a two-player game, and that's amazing. And then like that, so like the DI system combined with the hit stun, which lets the comboer like use a bunch of different options to react to the DI, combined with the wave dash, which like gives you even more freaking options to do crazy stuff. It's just this beautiful symphony of mechanics that like synergize together better than any other video game I've ever played, and it's not even close. This game is a masterpiece. It is so good. I can't believe this game is real, bro. And it's like 20 years old.
And the funny part is, we're still finding out more stuff about this game. It's a constantly evolving art.
Peak Melee, I mean, we all talk about like perfect Melee. Melee is so nuts that perfect Melee is literally impossible to be played by a human being. If you watch like a Brawl task, it just looks like a really good Meta Knight claim. You can't really tell it's like this perfect computer. When you watch a Melee task, you're like, this is literally impossible. Nobody can do this. Because the game is just that deep, and the skill ceiling is so just inhumanly high. It will always be interesting.
It's funny because like this game was made like
In
essentially on
2001.
yeah, it was made in 2001, but it was like made accidentally. When it comes down to brass tacks, like
That's why it's the greatest
none of this
accident
was
ever made.
intended. None of this was intended. It just kind of happened because of the time crunch and just like the game development cycle. So it's just like,
But that's
Oh,
we
man.
take those kind of moments.
yeah.
We tech
Like,
those.
this entire game is just like we
goodness.
take those. Because like it is so many glitches, but they all work together somehow. Like
And when they all come together, they know.
Now I wanna
honestly, like
preface something about Melee real quick that I don't think any other game does properly in this type of game. The characters, right? You have 8 viable characters out of 12, or out of like a, what is it, like 20,
26, I think it is.
26 player cast, right?
and
yeah.
normally
But-
you would think that would be stale after
You
a
would
while.
think
but no.
that would be stale after a while,
Oh,
right?
no,
But it's
hell
not!
no. Cause oh my god.
Because there's always something new to bring to the table. Like
Look
let's take a look at Fox Marth, right? Marth on paper wins the matchup, right? He edge guards very easily. He gets them off stage. He gets them out, gimps them, holds ledge, done. That's the game plan. But Fox has ways to get out of this scenario, so it's never a losing matchup. There is no losing matchup in this game.
You can both absolutely just clobber each other. It's like almost any top tier matchup.
Let's take Falcon, for example. Captain Falcon is considered the least viable of the viable characters in this game by a pretty decent majority of the cast. But Falcon can still absolutely destroy anybody that he can touch. And that's what like I guess that's what separates the balancing from this game to like other characters or other Smash titles.
It's really just like it's all in the mind, really. It's like if it all comes down to how good the pilot is.
Yes, it's a true contest of skill.
Like you see characters or you see like people like Axe who play like
With a handicap, effectively.
Oh no, Akron, no. You have to reconnect because your voice is being kind of weird.
Yeah, let's talk about my favorite player for a second, Axe, right? This is a guy who made a character who was deemed unviable. Now, like they're like actually questioning the tier list of whether or not Pikachu is that low. Like they're thinking about putting Pikachu over Ices.
He's right. Literally all because of Axe.
All because of Axe. He's the only person. The only other Pikachu player that you can note is Anther.
And he's like just not even remotely
And
close.
he's not even remotely close to him. Like, people like Amsa, who can take a character like Yoshi to the absolute limits and destroy one of the gods of the game at Big House, Mewtwo King, who was playing Sheik, which is his best character,
Terrible
by the way.
matchup.
Terrible matchup for Yoshi.
At the time.
Right? That's actually a losing matchup, you would think, except guess what? This is Melee. There are no losing matchups. If you're good at the game, you can win. Now, as you go further down the tier list, obviously this does not come into question, except you can backtrack to the Rona Rumble and look at Zane playing Roy, one of the worst characters in the game, and he's clapping actual good actual
to
players.
This game are absolutely insane. And like, of course, there's the argument that, well, people don't know the Roy matchup that well, which is true, but the levels are there, dog. Like, you can't deny that.
Hell, you can actually, like, I mean, it's not the exact same, but Roy is technically a Marth clone.
Yeah, he does have a lot of Marth.
The moves
Good
don't
point.
act the same. Like, his down tilt, like, pops people up for combos instead of, like, sending them away for a gimp. But, like, your DI is still down and away. Like, you're still trying to escape the down tilt.
Roy is wet noodle.
Forward air still does what a forward air does.
And like going back to the diversity in like gameplay, despite there being only a few like playable characters, right? Look at Falco. We went from like what was it? It was like Bomb Soldier to like PC Chris. Then you had Mango and PP coming in. Then you have West Balls, like all with like insanely
Now it's
different
Ginger.
styles and like
Ginger.
and then Ginger just like building off of each other. Marth obviously you had like Azen and then Ken and then M2K. And then, well,
Zane, the absolute
like,
fucking god. Forrest is really good.
Forrest is really good too. Like Ken basically like
Mango is
perfected their
fucking
own
Marth,
game.
and he busted out once against Axe.
And then once against Leffen, and then he actually beat Armada with Marth. Like what the fuck?
Wasted.
Glenn laid the groundwork. M2K got the punish game. PPMD came in with his just like incredible neutral. Bodied Armada,
Mango.
and then Zane took like the best of everybody and just like compiled it into this absolute monster.
Okay, but
That's
he dash
probably
fists in the corner.
Probably in the best in the world right now, maybe. It's
I mean, if he
debatable.
could beat all those players with Roy, I wouldn't doubt it.
You have Fox. I don't even need to list the 10,000 fucking Fox players.
But let's name the most notable ones. We have SFAT. We have
Mango. Mango is still a Fox player. I don't care what anyone says. We have hell. Fucking there has been occasions where Hungry Box has busted out a Fox. Leffen is probably the best Fox right now. Fucking Moki.
Moki's fucking
Moki
sick,
is so he is a technical wizard.
Good
You
old
have
Silent Wolf,
KJH.
rest in peace.
You have oh my god, there's so many fucking foxes.
Yeah.
Pew Pew You has a fox. Mewtwo King has a fox.
I almost feel like he's the top 2 character.
There are so many foxes. But understandably so. But it comes with a trade-off. It's almost like Eunice Seth, right? You have this really hard to play, hard to master character that, if played very, very well, he is the best in the game.
Very
but guess
high
what?
reward.
He is
And, like,
high
furthermore-
risk, high reward.
Yeah, and like furthermore, he's like, I'd say Fox is probably the best character in anything I've ever seen. Because yes, he destroys you, but he's also the easiest character to just fucking obliterate. That false speed
He
kills.
destroys you both in the game.
You
and
know
physically.
you're
That's
easy
an
to combo when
arthritis.
Kirby can combo you to death.
Yeah, and it just, of course, like, and he's the best in the game, so everybody knows how to fight Fox. So if you want a main Fox, you better be fucking good. You have to know what you're doing, otherwise you're just gonna get shitted on.
Literally, so many characters like have combos specifically based on spacey.
Yeah.
Alright.
Are you guys like done talking about like the competitive aspect though?
Yeah, because I actually wanna go and talk about what an actual game Melee is, because there's actual stuff that like people can like talk about to what am I looking for? To make Melee way more of a timely experience than the newer Smash games are. Let's talk about unlocking characters for a second.
Yeah,
In the
ways you
newer
unlock
games,
characters
you
is-
play a bunch of versus battles, you have all the characters in a few hours, right? Melee is not the case. This
which can
game,
be seen as like a good or bad thing.
which
depending on
I
who
think
you
it's a great thing. I think it's amazing. Like the intricacy, like Luigi. To unlock Luigi in the game,
You have to have. I remember it exactly. In adventure mode, you have to clear the first level, and you have to have A2 in the timer
because
to
he
finish
is the
level.
second brother,
Yes,
he is
it's
number
clear.
Actually, so
2.
freaking cool.
which is so cool. Mewtwo, you need to have an accumulated play time of like a certain amount of hours. I think it's like
24 hours.
24
Dude,
hours.
I
In
literally-
versus mode, you have
I
to
li-
play 24 hours in versus mode, nothing else.
Right,
I literally
Because
left my
Mewtwo will
GameCube.
only challenge strong opponents.
right.
I literally just left my GameCube on with.
Yeah, you
99
leave it on overnight, of course. That
Right.
Now, then there's Falco. You have to beat 100-man melee, right? And there's a bunch of different ways to do that. Like I tried doing it Fox only Shine, which
I did
Shine.
DK down.
Yeah, everyone
down
does
B.
DK down B, or you could do Pikachu up air, or fucking Ganondorf back air, or like anything Ganondorf because he's a fucking meat stick. Unlocking. I mean, Game & Watch was the hardest character to unlock just because you needed to unlock everyone else
Yeah.
first.
Which makes no sense, but whatever.
Jigglypuff is easy because it's Jigglypuff.
You just win classic mode with any character.
Yeah. Break the targets. That's Young Link. You have to do all of the break the targets modes for I think it was the base cast,
Yeah, the base cast.
and then Young Link shows up. Unlocking the stages in the game too. Like for Yoshi's Story, you need to get a certain amount of distance in the home run contest. But the best way to do that is with Yoshi.
Yeah.
Because he does so much damage with
Down air, and then you just hit him with the home run bat,
That's
right?
so
It's like
well
they
made.
knew.
It's like, oh my god.
It's like they knew. Like,
How's this game
Soundtrack is
real?
amazing.
Yeah. Well, look, listen to this, bro. D, Battlefield, opening theme. The menu
Dream-
screen.
no. You are not talking about Melee unless you're talking about the song.
Well, I mean, which one? I'm not.
You're,
even sure
hold
which
on,
one.
I'm getting it.
Okay.
Because this song doesn't appear in. Well, it's not necessarily Melee related. It's also in like previous games, but like.
The Fan of Dreams.
Oh man, I'm
Man,
so glad
This
I'm in this.
song was made real because of Melee. Honestly,
It's found dreams, isn't it?
hell no.
Oh,
Ah,
well, that was 64. This is 64. Not
Yeah, it
Melee.
is 64, right? But Melee was the game that made this song popular.
True.
There's a reason why people call this place Mangoland, okay?
Mango Land.
This song is so good. They were
So
definitely on some shit when they made this song, and I
I'm
don't
so
blame
glad
them.
I'm in the timeline where this game exists.
I do like. I have sunk as a kid. I've sunk so many hours in those games. Like,
Same.
Fully so.
At least I can. The only thing I have to my name is that I'm very crisp with Wavelands.
yeah, I'm not good at this game competitively, and I think I'd rather just keep it that way. I don't know. This
It
game
will
is
destroy your
more
hand.
This is a
arthritis.
time sink. This game is hard.
Oh, 100%. Bro, I have been playing this game competitively for 5 years. 5 years, and I still suck ass.
The game is. This is a dedication.
Yeah, I just don't have. I just can't really dedicate myself like that. Plus, I don't know. Like, there's a part of me that doesn't want to like actually get good at Melee because, again, it's the nostalgia factor I have for that game. Is like, it kind of ruins the childhood innocence that I had, that I have for this game. Is like I kind of want to keep viewing it. It's just like I want to preserve it, like in my memory. It's like a game that I only have good memories of because, like, if I ever got into competitive, I'd have bad ones.
I was a brainlet child when I played this game, alright? I have no actual memories of playing this game a bunch.
I remember like
So,
grinding all the characters. I remember grinding all the events, all the way up to event 51. I remember
I didn't do any of this.
beating it for the first time, being like, I felt like I conquered the world. Like I felt like I was on top of
Bro,
the world.
Event 51.
When I beat event.
Event 51 was like the shit. Like it was the
Yeah.
ultimate test.
Like it just felt like such an accomplishment of like getting everything in that game. To me, anyway.
100%.
But yeah, like Melee is just like timeless. It's literally just like immortal.
Dude, I own a copy. I
Oh
had.
my! I didn't even put the rating. I didn't even put the
It doesn't.
rating.
He doesn't need
It
one.
literally is.
It needs a rating. It
You
needs
can't
a rating.
rate it.
That's your rating right
Infinity,
there.
yeah.
Can't rate it.
Infinity. You know what?
It is.
I
it is
can't
that
believe we haven't
good.
played it. It has to be played. You need to play it.
We've had some like rough patches, but I'm convinced at this point it's obviously eventually it'll happen, but it feels like this game will just never die.
Yeah.
It's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot of people quitting at once.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I know that me personally, if this game starts dying, I'm not gonna stop playing. I'm still gonna play it. If I've been playing this game since it came out and I haven't stopped yet, I've been playing a game for almost 20 years.
It's insane, bro.
I'm not saying I'm playing it like cumulatively or anything. Like obviously it's been
I
on
mean,
and off.
you can always just like pop it in and play it.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it. Like you can always pop. But here's the thing, and I'm gonna agree with you what you said before, X, like how it ruined your child, like if it ruins childhoods or whatever. Because I can't play Melee the same way I played it all those years ago anymore. That tech skill is grinded into me.
Yeah, no.
I mean that like whenever I play it with friends, I mean I'll try to like wave dash and do stuff, but like I can't like do it that well. And we just have fun playing the game. Like we just
That's what
do
I
all
go
kinds
for.
of dumb. We don't really like. I mean, we try to win, but we don't like. We're not tryhards or anything. Like, we just try to screw around or like style or whatever. Like we just try to have fun.
Well, yeah, that's the
You know,
point. Like if
yeah,
you're playing
that's-
friendlies, that's the
that's-
point.
Yeah, I mean that's always how I want to. I don't know. I'm getting kind of. It makes me kind
You're
of
getting
emotional.
tired.
I know.
I'm not even
get
tired.
what
It's
you
just
mean.
like it makes me emotional to kind of like put it like this, but like that's always how I want to remember this
Yeah.
game.
Get you. I think for me, just like this is something I love with like really hard games in general. Like going because like I have just memories of games I have in general with games with like really high skill ceilings. Going back to games that I played when I was younger with like new tech and like OD adult me skill and just destroying stuff that I had trouble with as a kid feels freaking amazing. I
Yeah, that's
love that.
Yeah, that was kind of me with like Kingdom Hearts One because like I remember having trouble with so many bosses and then like I fight them even on proud mode. I was like, wait, why do I have trouble with this boss?
That's
You feel
bro,
like a freaking
literally,
god, man.
literally, literally last week, fucking last week, I got this emulator and I decided I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna play Melee and I'm gonna like go from the beginning. I want to unlock all the characters again. I want to feel the same way, but I'm gonna do it like the way I do it now, right? And I always had trouble with this certain event when you have to fight Dark Link, right? And when I tell
Oh.
when I tell you that like I actually fucking destroyed Dark Link, like no contest, like I'm like wait a minute, I'm like oh my god, dude, I
Oh
feel like
my
a fucking
god.
I'm a fucking king, like
It
Yeah, but
actually
Event
feels good.
51 still like kicks your ass.
Oh, hell
oh
yeah.
no, you press strictly fluff, you crouch cancel everything and you rest. That's it. That's all you
The
do.
No,
beside the
that's
ball beside.
cheating.
That's not cheating. Crouch canceling is implemented in the game. Okay, X. Okay.
Uh, I still remember it was Dr. Mario. I used Dr. Mario to beat Event 51 for the
You
first time in
Dr.
my life.
Mario?
What
To
is
be
wrong
true.
with you? I used Pikachu.
Ganondorf.
And again, and I can see Ganon.
Yeah, I
What
used
did you
Doc.
do with what did you do with Doc?
I don't know. I just hit him really hard. I
Yep.
guess
Remember
I mean,
Doc has the
Doc
reverse
really does
spikes
hit
there.
hard though.
He
Doc really
does.
does.
give him the big old fist.
Oh, dude. Oh, melee.
He doesn't even have the
How? What
Tims in
was?
this
What was the?
game.
Maka? What was the first tournament set you watched?
First tournament set of Melee?
Yeah, like what introduced you to the competitive melee scene?
Shit.
Is it money?
No. I had already been watching. I've been watching since like around Big House 4, but think it was after Big House 4. I don't
I
remember what the
actually
first
can't
time.
remember.
I think no. I think it was Evo 2014 HBox versus Mango. I think that's the first set I remember watching.
You want to know what my first melee set I watched was? Kings of Cali 3, Scar versus Ken.
Oh, that's a
When
good one.
Scar beat Ken in a fucking thing because Ken wouldn't go to Evo and it was like a salt match or whatever.
Yeah.
And Scar was like, "You're gonna go to Evo, and you know what? I'm gonna beat you in a match to prove that if I win, you're gonna go to Evo." And guess what? Scar won, and that's what made me want to play Falcon.
That's actually godlike.
It was so good. Mango was on commentary
I
and with
remember that shit.
D1. And then that was the same tournament where it was Mango versus Baddies, and everybody was
Yeah.
drunk, and it was super funny.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, dude.
What a legendary this is the people's game. I already said, but
This game is literally made by the community. Like, I don't think Nintendo could have done anything else like this again if they tried.
Yeah,
Without a dedicated fan base like this.
like it's not even possible to replicate this game. Like so many games have tried to replicate Melee, but like you can't. Like you actually can't.
No, it's impossible.
Can't
PM
do it.
does a very good job though.
It does, but like it
Like-
still doesn't quite match because like again, this game was not meant to happen. It was an accident. This game
Yeah.
happened on accident. You can't replicate an accident like that.
It's true. It's 100% true.
All right, that is that. Thank you guys. I kept y'all here longer than I expected to, but these mainly deserve it.
Fuck Puff though.
Buff.
Fuck Puff.
Buff the Puff?
Fuck Puff.
Wins Melee HD.
Never.
I'm pretty sure someone already made retexturing packs for it.
Yeah,
So actually, are
Niers
starting to
my
like be able to like full on mod the game for 100.
Yeah, something like that.
Who died?
Yeah,
Is it-
that was the music bot.
Yep. Nier's my favorite single player game. Melee's my favorite game. Period. That's all I got.
Very fun.
Fair
Good
enough.
list. Very good list. All right.
I
I'm
need
gonna
to do
stop
my
this
list sometime.
recording.
Please do.
Yeah, that's about it.
Peace.
Yeah. We stopped recording the wanking characters video for this, so we'll probably get into a part 2 for that because I actually stopped before recording this to talk about Yuha a little bit. And by
Yeehaw.
a little bit, I mean like 15 fucking minutes about just how broken Yuha is. But there's a few more characters I want to talk about in another part of that, so we'll get to that next time.